What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday Vibes podcast with Tanya and Imani. And I just want to say happy Monday. I hope your Monday was just as eventful as mine. What did I do today? I think I went to work, caught an early dinner with my little one, but we are going to be talking about so many things other than the Singapore GP. I'm going to be joined in a few minutes by Imani. Now, he's joining me from, okay, view request, yes. Going to be joining us today. Now, usually on a podcast like this on Mondays, we talk about the GP, which was the Singapore GP. But unfortunately, hey, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you today?
Good. I'm so glad that you were able to join us. I know there were a few hiccups, but I'm glad that you're here. You look great, by the way. So,
Let's not start off with that.
I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen you since Daytona when we all went in January. I'm
hmm
sorry I missed the New York meetup, but I'm pretty sure there will be a few more.
Yes, it has been a little while since I've seen you, but you look great, and it's been busy. I think a lot of people have been asking me where I am. Like Bryson, where are your F1 tweets about tech stuff? And I've just been kind of busy. I've been working and having some fun, but I'm glad to be here and got to talk to you guys for a second.
Yeah, I think today is a very important day. Hey, Amani, what's up?
What up? What is up?
I think in light of what has been going on, we usually talk about the previous GP from the Sunday before, but these comments that we've heard about rappers, I want to get your take on it, Bryson. And I want everybody to realize and understand that us being Black Formula One content creators is something that we hold near and dear to our hearts. We take it very seriously. And when we hear comments like this, we get offended. We do. So I
Yeah, oh, please go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to cut
well,
you
I
off.
just wanted to say that today we're sharing our platform with you and a couple of other Black content creators. And I just want you to be just super honest on how you feel about everything that's going on and what this gentleman, well, this person, I can't even call him a gentleman, this person has said.
I think the most important thing to remember whenever we have an inciting incident like this is to remember it's never just this one thing. It's always a part of a bigger constellation of behaviors and things that are said that's forming a pattern. It's a pattern that we're all recognizing. It's a pattern that does not allow us to simply say, oh, he just meant this or he meant that. I mean, it's pretty clear. To argue that there are not racial undertones to what he said is silly in my mind. I think people who would argue that are either not paying attention or really don't want to. But the other contextual piece of information that I want to kind of emphasize is that Formula One is genuinely like 60 years behind in terms of racial integration.
Yep.
You think back to when Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball, that was in 1947. And Lewis Hamilton's first race in Formula One was in 2007. So it literally is 60 full years. And this incredible sport that we love, full of amazing cars, amazing characters, is one of these enclaves of sort of private opinions and private ideas and things. And it can be a lot of racist ideas and things there too, a lot of antiquated ideas that are a part of that. And I feel like the more exposure everyone gets to things, the easier it gets for all of us to exist in the same space. Because ultimately, we are fans of motorsport. We are fans of Formula One. We do want to feel included and welcome. Comments like this do the opposite of that. They sow division. In fact, his comments were explicitly, "We're not like them." Well, who's them? Who's us in that scenario? And it's not very far below the surface to dig into that. He's not talking about his definition of us and them falls more along racial lines than I think many people care to admit.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, Amani, did you want, because I know you wrote it down and I don't know the words verbatim. I chose to forget them on purpose about uh, what Ben Syliuam has said. Can you reiterate to the audience exactly what he said and what Bryson's touching on?
Yeah, so basically what's basically going on right now, there was he is basically just upset with all the cuss words and everything that's happening over the radios and everything. And basically out there in Singapore, he basically just made a remark that says, it's just different with our sports. We are not, over the radio, they're sounding like rappers with the F bombs and everything. So with the whole indication of, and that, of course, it's going to upset, Lewis, and goes, what are you talking about rappers? Is that, you know, we all rappers, it just, who in particular are you talking about? Even though, it's not even like the person who's saying it. It's more of just like how he's wording his words out. Like that has no place at all for what he had to say. I mean, for him to even speculate rappers as like just F bomb waving, cuss words having and all this other stuff. It's just really just I don't get. But like I said, to put it to kind of comment on what you said is that this is a build up. We understand who's doing all the cussing and everything. We understand the radio messages and stuff. This is a build. He's been talking about this. This is not his first time talking about this and everything. So the whole situation is that for him to say it out loud is like, tell us how you really feel, you know?
I mean, I think he has. Speaking of Bryson's
Yeah.
point, he has said he has he has attacked the Wolves, and he's also, he's literally harassed Lewis Hamilton over his jewelry. It's like there have been countless things that he has done. I have been following Twitter closely. Willie T has asked for his resignation via Twitter, and I think that there are a lot of people that are tired of his inflammatory remarks. Now, so it is, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be in that seat in the FIA until 2025, December of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So what are both of your thoughts? Do you think that they would probably move to have him replaced, or do you think that they're just going to let him serve out his time there?
This is the FIA we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The FIA is not going to do anything about Ben Sulayem. They could be legally compelled to do something, they wouldn't do it. The FIA has good people in it, but it has not demonstrated a capacity to hold people accountable in the way that they should be historically. It just hasn't. The one thing that I want to also add to this that makes it worse, what Ben Sulayem did, is that he made a point in recent weeks to, take pictures with prominent people in the black community, people who are musicians or people who are even doing great things for motorsport as well, and using that as a kind of currency to say, I'm one of you, I'm with you, I support your causes. But then the comments that he's saying say the exact opposite. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth, which is what kind of concerns me. And again, look, I'm not saying that being the president of the FAA is an easy job. I'm not even saying that we should have flagrant language, littered with expletives constantly in the radios or everything else. I'm happy with the thing being cleaned up a little bit. But the reference to rappers was totally gratuitous. There are, even if that's your point is to say we just want cleaner language, there are infinitely better ways to do that. They're not inherently incendiary, which is what it is. And again, even let's imagine the best case scenario, right? Best case scenario. Oh, this is my fault. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean this way. It demonstrates that he doesn't have the awareness to know how the community is going to react to that. Either he doesn't know or doesn't care. Both of those are bad. They're just bad in different ways.
Very. I mean,
That's
it really just bothers me because and I know that they're two different entities, because when you talk about diversity inclusion, what Formula One wants to do, that's on Formula One's end. But then when you talk about his inflammatory remarks being the FIA, it's like, can Black people get any respect in either one of these entities at this point? I really feel like they're still struggling. They're definitely struggling with this. But at the
Yeah.
same time, they want our money. They want for us to go to races. They want us to present at races. Like LL Cool J introduced all those drivers in Miami. Will I Am, Pusha T, like the list goes on and on and on. I mean, ASAP, who is it? ASAP Rocky, he was designing for Ferrari. He was designing their clothes for Ferrari. So what is it? Do you want us to be a part of this culture, or you don't want us to be a part of this culture? And it seems like they want us to be a part of this F1 culture when it's convenient for them. And it also bothers me too that there weren't a lot of people really bothered about what he said in the days after he said it. And I'm like, okay, so when women were getting harassed at tracks, everybody was up in arms about that. When people were getting their hats snatched off and stuff was being set on fire, they were upset about that. But now, you know, he makes a remark basically pertaining to Black people. Nobody has anything to say. It's ridiculous. And I really wanted to bring awareness to this, and also show our faces on social media saying that we're not okay with this, because oftentimes I feel like Lewis Hamilton is on an island by himself. He has to constantly defend not just him, but Black people constantly in Formula One. And it's sad. It really is.
Yeah, Lewis does an incredible amount of work, and oftentimes it's like he's doing it entirely by himself. And again, as much as I love Lewis Hamilton, even we don't agree on every subject, but on this type of stuff, we absolutely agree. And he definitely is doing what he feels is the right thing to do, and he knows that there can be consequences to that. People respect him for doing it anyway. That's what I think is important. But he's not alone. And what's the really weird part about this to me, the sort of subtle part to this, is that the inherent presumption behind a lot of this stuff is that people don't think that like rappers are inherently interested in racing anyway. It's like they're trying to go to the rappers like, oh, get you to do this musical piece, get you to do this other piece. You don't realize that some of like our like famous rappers are hardcore motorsports fans. Crazy. I mean, T-Pain, for example, is perfect example. One of the coolest dudes ever. You know, platinum Grammys, all these other things. But he's drifting cars. You know, in competition. He's competing in motorsports. He's not just a fan; he is a competitor. I mean, this is someone who is very, you know, prominent in the Black community. So it's not just about like trying to do things that Black people will be interested in, just provide an opportunity for us to exist in the space in a way that we feel comfortable in and accommodated in, and also just don't make these offhanded, weird remarks that have undeniable racial undertones. That's where I come out.
Yeah. So let me ask you about Formula One. And, you know, we all met during COVID and we all met under the banner of diversity, equity, inclusion. Given a lot of, I feel like, what's going on in the world today, where do you see Formula One still honoring that? Or if they're not honoring it, what are your thoughts, Bryson?
There are the seeds of something great that can happen in Formula One. Part of it is deliberate in what they're trying to do. Part of it's happening organically in the fan bases, in the communities. The things that they're trying to do explicitly, for example, things with it was W Series previously, but Formula One Academy now, to actually provide an opportunity for women to race in an organized way to get the experiences that they need to be able to actually, you know, compete with men, and they can compete already, but they don't have the experience that they need and the exposure that they need. And the F1 Academy is helping to give them that. And I'm seeing a lot of positive results from that. But on the other side, I'm also seeing a lot of positive things from the content creator side. And again, I'm not really like the content creator. I talk online about things that I think are fun, and I
It's
do
a
it too
blanket
often. But
statement, Bryson. Come
I
on.
don't have any ambitions of grand designs. I just talk too much online. But what I mean is that in terms of people who are covering the sport, people that are adding commentary to it, it's never been more diverse than it is now, and that's great. There's been a democratization of like punditry. You know, I see some of the best analysts and people who are people that look like me, people that don't look like me. It's a very multicultural palette there, which I really like. Men, women, you know, people from the Middle East. You know, people. Some of our greatest commentators are from the Middle East as well. You know, it's just a great thing. That's why Formula One has the potential to bring so many people together. In principle, it's so simple. Build cars that can go as fast as they can around the track, and everyone can relate to that. Everyone loves it. There's no reason why we shouldn't all be together and enjoying the sport that we all love in equal measure. It's just that some of these historical things are holding us back, and hopefully we can figure that out in the future. But like I said, obviously we have some problems, but I choose to be optimistic about the future more so than pessimistic. But it's a choice. I agree.
Yeah, yeah. And I choose as well to be optimistic. But I think that having these conversations definitely and adding our input, but I also think it's important that we also have a seat at the table. And I think that that's something that there are a lot of people working behind the scenes. They're trying to get that opportunity. And when the table reflects all of us instead of a select few of us, I think that we'll be able to move that narrative forward.
I agree.
Yep. I definitely agree on that.
Amani, was there anything else that you wanted to add? Bryson, I know that we have like a few more minutes with you, and it's been.
Well, we can talk about the race too. I'm happy to talk about the race
so
too.
Give me
but
your hot takes. All right, give me your hot takes on.
Go ahead. Yeah,
hey,
we need a hot take from the race.
The hottest take I have, scolding hot, piping hot take, is that Lando Norris is actually, he can win races. He's not going to bottle everything. Okay, Oscar Piastri is the real deal. Okay, yeah. and Franco Colapinto is my guy. Okay. Franco Colapinto is my guy now.
I'm telling you.
Look, Colapinto is doing things in Formula One that young Lewis Hamilton did when he first started. These kind of moves where you're like 3 or 4 cars back on the brakes, don't miss the apex. He made the apex, didn't crash into anybody. And I really appreciated the way the Formula One community, rallied behind him when a media outlet that I normally enjoy decided to say, well, Colapinto almost crashed in 3 cars, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, he nailed the apex perfectly. What are y'all talking about? And yes, he definitely has arrived in a way that merits a seat for the future. So those are my main takes. As far as the championship goes, wow. I have never seen a team like Red Bull lose their form mid-season like this. Normally when a team loses their form, it's in between seasons. There's a regulation change, they lose a driver or something like that. But they're losing pace in the middle of the season. And Daniel Ricciardo, who I know that you don't always love, I know at one point you want to send him back to HRT. I remember.
So many clubhouse rooms, Bryson. I have. That was Mark that head on a spike. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. So somebody wants to send him back to HRT. But my point is that he the way he's being sort of sent out, he did a good favor for Max to get him the fastest lap point, which was great. But the way he's been going out has just been so unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, and it's by choice. Red Bull had an opportunity to say something about their decision. Everyone in the paddock knows it's over, and yet the teams won't say anything themselves. I even though I'm not like his hugest fan ever, I recognize his contribution to the sport and wish they would have given him a better farewell.
Yeah.
So
they're not going to give him a proper send-off. It's that he's
that was it. That was
the
last game.
I think that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, last dance. I think so.
You know what's crazy about this is that, from what I understand, I did a little research, is that fastest lap might have messed up Lando Norris for winning the championship.
You think?
Yes, because from what I understand is that now, because he took those points away, Max got to win. If Max can stay in second place throughout sprint and all these races, we might get another championship, which is like, that was
Look,
crazy.
Listen, I it's going to come down to the wire either way. If 1 point makes a difference, that's great. I mean, it's not great when you have 1 point that makes a difference because the FIA, as it's shown in the past, could not help itself from making manufactured entertainment, and we saw the consequences of that in 2021. So that worries me a little bit in terms of a 1 point championship. But look, this is something that happens in Formula One. Races become close. The races are generally quite good, except for this past one.
Yeah,
so all I'm going to say is
professional. Okay, like.
Well, just to be clear, there was 1 point of drama that we only saw in replay, but almost happened. And Lando's engineer, I think it was Tom Stellard, was telling him, "Don't push so hard. You don't have to push this hard. I know you want a 25. I know you want a 25-second lead. I know you want 5 YouTube unskippable ads worth of a lead. I know you want that." But as he was doing that, he almost crashed the car. He came with it. He came within inches of seriously crashing the car, and it was by his own skill and, frankly, luck that he did not have significant enough front wing damage to cause a retirement. I mean, he could have broken the front suspension doing that. So as good as Lando is, he still has some areas of refinement to really become that sort of measured champion. Sometimes you don't need to be 30 seconds ahead. You just need to win. And that's the lesson that I hope he learns.
Win and bring the car home. Yep.
That's it.
Yep. So I want to ask you, Bryson, your thoughts on McLaren having two number one drivers or two number two drivers?
I mean, look, Oscar Piastri's manager is Mark Webber, right? And if there's anyone on this earth who understands the importance of explicitly not being a number two driver and having that in your contract, it's Mark Webber. Okay,
Right.
he understands what that does to a person. He also understands how good Oscar Piastri is, right? So it wouldn't surprise me at all if the rather nebulous, papaya rules that we keep hearing about in their rules of engagement have some things that actually have contractual underpinnings that are related to Oscar never being ever able to be a number two driver on paper. They can fight it out and how they want to go about it, but Oscar's the real deal. And what's interesting is that he's very calm. He's like Kimi Räikkönen and like Lewis Hamilton like together somehow,
Yeah.
and his mannerisms. And he's just a chill dude. I think also he studied like engineering in school, and if he wasn't a race car driver, he'd be an engineer. So I know he's tearing it up in the engineering meetings, so that's good as well. And he's just a funny guy. So if I had to pick someone who I kind of want to follow after Lewis, sadly retires years from now,
Yeah.
I'll root for Oscar because he's a good guy. But overall, no, it was very good. And McLaren regarding having two number ones, winning is about more than just having the fastest car. Lando Norris is very famous for saying that all you need to win is the fastest car, and he's finding out rather painfully and publicly that you need more than that.
Yeah.
And if you ask me who has the killer instincts, who has that
championship
X factor,
mentality,
that championship mentality that can get you a win over a worthy adversary, I think Piastri could do it over Norris. Now, granted, Norris is ahead in the championship, and I agree that Piastri hasn't had the greatest start to the season. But if you were to reset the playing field like right now, or just look at the second half of the season, who's got more points and everything, it'll be Norris a little bit now, but they're very close. I'm looking forward to seeing them fight.
Yeah. So championship win for constructors and also for drivers. What are your predictions? Top three.
Oh, top three. I was gonna say. Well, McLaren is gonna win the constructors because they have two drivers that are contributing points. Simple as that. Max can't be good enough to overcome Oscar and Lando, so McLaren's gonna win that, barring some crazy reliability thing or anything else. I think that Red Bull will be second to constructors, and then Ferrari third is kind of what I think is going to end up happening. It is possible that Ferrari could actually catch Red Bull for second in the constructors championship, but I think it's unlikely overall with the races that we have remaining, and Checo is actually strong at several of them. Drivers, I think I'm still going to say Max. Lando will get second, and then I believe it's Charles who's in third place. Or it may okay. So that would be my order, and I think it's going to come down to the last race. The sprints are going to make it interesting. If there's a high-profile crash, it's going to make it very interesting. But as I think Max is finding out now that the shoe is on the other foot, when you have a championship to defend, you can't just dive bomb people into the first corner. You can't just say, you're going to give me space or we're going to crash. You can't do that when you're ahead of the championship. When you have something to lose, you have to drive differently. And I think, I think that he's experiencing that. I highly doubt he will ever have to deal with a version of himself attacking him the way he attacked Lewis. I think Oscar would race him very fairly, and I think Lando would race him very fairly because they're good friends. Yeah. So I imagine that he'll get some great wheel-to-wheel battles. He'll conserve the points when he needs to, and I think he'll hold on to the end because Max also has that X factor. Yes, he was the antagonist against Lewis Hamilton for several years, but he's a very, very good driver. He's a very competent driver, and I believe he knows what it takes to actually win a championship in this situation. A slower car, getting towards the end of the season, I suspect Max can pull it out.
So Max and Red Bull in 2025, or do you think he may go elsewhere?
I think he has to stay at Red Bull for 2025, but the second 2026 comes along, I think it's over. I don't even think George Russell is safe at Mercedes. We've talked about George at Mercedes, and he's like the golden child, and then hey, Lewis is leaving, and so now you're the guy, right? It's like, well, actually, maybe not. Maybe Kimi Antonelli is actually the guy, the internal guy, and if you can get Max Verstappen, Toto Wolff has already said. I mean, Toto Wolff
Preach.
he's close to like bedside chat with Max
Preach.
Verstappen. He
Preach.
would have he
Preach.
would have him. He would cuddle him and whisper him sweet
Preach.
nothings if he could. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Preach.
He wants
Thank
it.
you.
He wants him with the team. But also, I think on the other side, George wouldn't be too bad at Red Bull either. I think George would be kind of fun at Red Bull. So
It'll be different though, so different.
mhm.
And last but not least, I know we have like less than a minute. I want to ask you about Lewis and Ferrari because I haven't gotten your opinion yet. Your thoughts on Ferrari and Lewis.
There's something beautiful and something elegant about a career having three chapters. Right? You have this
Mhm.
up and coming starting at McLaren, you have this establishment of dominance at Ferrari, and you have the swan song or excuse me, at Mercedes, you have that period of dominance, and then you have the sort of swan song at the end with Ferrari. And there's an opportunity for something beautiful to happen there. There's a clashing of cultures, a clashing of ideas, something that on paper shouldn't work, but what if it does? That's just like elixir. I can't put my finger on it. There's something special that could happen in that situation. And Lewis's involvement in the fashion world and his ability to bring the best out of people. I mean, I just feel like there's something special to be there and to potentially exceed his and Michael Schumacher's shared record for 7 world titles at the very same team that he did it for them, and to actually get Ferrari another championship after so many years in a drought. I mean, the movie writes itself, y'all. I mean, the movie writes
Yep.
itself.
Exactly. I agree.
So
100%. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And I just hope that I'm hoping the best outcome that possibly can happen for him and Ferrari. Yeah.
He's
yeah,
gonna win it
I'm
first
looking
year.
forward to it.
He's winning it first
Hey, listen,
year.
listen.
Come
I'm
on now.
telling you, if Lewis wins, if Lewis wins in Monza next year, the earth will shake.
Whew.
The earth will shake. I
More
assure you.
more than Silverstone because I really thought that those people were just gonna like absolutely
How many home races is Lewis gonna have now? He's gonna have
Three. Yep.
Silverstone,
3.
Brazil,
No, 4.
Monza, and you can count Imola too
Yep.
if you want to
yeah.
do Italian. So I feel like we're on the verge of something great. And the new technical regulations, although I have my own reservations about active aerodynamics and the safety implications of those systems, they have to be designed very robustly. But fundamentally, it's going to change the order around a lot. We're going to see Audi return. There's so many storylines at play. It should just be a great couple of years.
What I love about all of us having so much interest in this sport that we love so much. Bryson, there are so many things that you can ask a person, but you giving us your time is everything. And I just want to thank you for being such a great friend.
Mm-hmm.
Being the person that we can go to anytime we have any questions regarding Aero with Formula One. By the way, the Blue Angels are in town, and I thought about you because they were
Hey,
flying over my house
Uh-oh.
doing doing some
hey,
moves because the air.
look, maybe next time I'll come by and take some pictures of planes. It'll
Yes,
be fun.
you should make it a point to come to Virginia Beach and see the Blue Angels with me because that's something that you and I share in common, and we could do a whole show on that too. But I won't because I know you're a busy man. I hope
Yeah.
to catch up with you soon. Hopefully, you'll meet Amani in person. I
Yeah.
don't think that you met
I'm
in person
No.
yet.
sure he will, man. The next day I will be at Daytona next year. So for sure check me off on that. But if not, maybe we'll be before then. But thanks for having me on.
Yeah, yeah. But before you go, tell everybody your Instagram handles and how they can get in contact with you.
I'm at Natural Paradigm on Twitter/X and Instagram and TikTok, but I mean I'm not on TikTok. Um, but yeah, that's usually where I am. Occasionally I will do a podcast appearance and say hello. But as I said before, work has been quite busy. So I'm not quite as active as I have been in the past, but I'm still around. And if I can have an opportunity to offer some insights, I definitely will. So thanks for having me on.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'll see you around
You're a
in
legend.
chat.
All right, I'll see you
All right,
guys.
Brian. Oh my goodness, he was just such a treat. Really
That was a
is.
good one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I really feel like everything that he mentioned, I echo the same sentiments. There's so much more that unites us than divides us. And I just wish that Formula One would hurry the heck up and get on that train with us because we love this sport. We're not going anywhere. And they just need to go ahead and embrace us. Now, we do have a couple other people that are going to be joining us. We're going to give them a few minutes before they come on in. You know, sometimes they can be on CP time. But I just, in the meantime, I want to go through because there are so many people that are leaving us comments. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us today. Base Pack, we have Base Pack in the house, Imani,
Always.
and he has been gang of
My
stuff.
brother.
He said he wants Leah Block in Formula
Yes.
One. He said, and then 1985 said Lando can do it based on how the Red Bull performs and how Ferrari made some improvements. And then I had no idea they were friends. Wow. Yes, we are. We are united underneath a banner called Black Interest in Motorsport, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know. Black Interest in Motorsport was founded by Rohan Pierce, whatever you want to call him. And it was founded back in 2020 during the pandemic. So that's actually how all of us met in lieu of the Apex Takeover podcast and also the Clubhouse rooms. And Amani and I met collecting cards in the hobby. Yep. So there is this great arc of people, Black people that love motorsport, period, that love trading cards, period, that love Formula One, period.
We here.
Okay? We are here and we're not going anywhere. Baseball said Coda is Danny Rick's home race. Okay, all right.
Basically.
And then we have Carrie Elise said, thank you so much, Bryson, for the incredible insight. I agree. Love this. Thank you. I know I hate it for Danny Rick. His last race should be in Coda. I believe that as well. Can you say some of your cars in the collection? I don't know. Can you say some of your cars in the collection? And what collection? My trading card collection? Because I could go on and on about that.
Yeah, that can be a whole 3 hours.
Of course, if it's not a stack of money, it's a stack of cards for us. Okay?
It's either or.
So I would say in my stack, definitely Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Aston Martin, and who else would I say? Aston Martin. Oh yeah, and AlphaTauri.
Yep.
You know, I have a lot of Yuki cards. Like that's my guy. Like straight up. So I there was a remark that I saw likening to Juan Fangio. And yes, they were saying Colapinto is a perfect example of having talent but no money. Thus, he's passed over for Sargent for 2 years. Dang!
Oh my gosh!
Who came out with that smoke?
Oh boy, you are banned.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, they're comparing him. Yeah, right on. Like the fact that he is from the bottom of South America, from a country that has strong race history. Juan Fangio. I'm telling you, Juan Fangio, he's one of my favorite Formula One drivers, besides Lewis Hamilton and Niki Lauda. Definitely. All right. So, who else is joining us? I know that we have Rohan.
I want.
There is. Why are you not joining us yet? He should be joining us. I saw Yuki in the con. He said I saw a video of Yuki in an economy on a flight back to X on Twitter.
Don't play Yuki like that.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right. So, Rohan, are you joining us? Because we have Yuri and a few.
I want to, thinking about all this, I'm thinking like, what are you going to do when Lewis leaves?
I don't know. That
All,
is a question.
all that
I
diversity
asked
stuff and
that
everything is.
at the last pod. Like, what is everybody gonna do?
Yo,
Whoa!
my
Look,
guy, what up?
What's going on? Okay, I've never used live on. I did do
No,
today.
you're like typing
no,
away, and I'm like,
yeah.
dude, why are you not on here?
I was saying to one of my friends earlier, I was like, I'm about to be like, oh, trying to get on here today because I don't know what I gotta click to get on here.
Look, you got
So,
the perfect angle and everything.
I
You ready to go?
look. That's Rohan. That's what he does.
Shut
That's Mr. Photography himself.
Mm-hmm.
But I just was talking about Black interest in motorsport. We had Bryson on. I don't know if you were able to catch his segment, but he touched on a few things. I want you to, in the beginning, introduce yourself, but I also talked about Black interest in motorsport because, Rohan, I really feel like there are so many people that don't realize how much interest us Black people really do have in motorsport.
Yeah. So uh, on IG, I go by Romario Andretti. Romario is a nod to my middle name and also, play on words to Mario Andretti. Um, Hopefully Andretti family doesn't say anything to me anytime soon.
No.
But no, I got I started like playing like a lot of like racing video games growing up, and then like NASCAR Thunder 2004. That was one of my first ones, and just playing the game always like would just be trying to crash as many cars as possible,
Jeez.
and
Yeah.
then. And then there was one day I was like flipping through channels and I saw like NASCAR was racing in Vegas. And I was like, wait, these are like, the same cars in the game. So I was like locked in trying to figure out how like, okay, so I watched like the end of the race. It was actually a close finish. And I was like, okay, so how to let me learn how to actually do this in the game and start getting better with the game, not crashing everybody. And then I started watching more racing. And like I think I went to like one of my first races was Dover that year in like September. But it was always, it's a sport that mostly just white people watch, and it was tough to talk to anybody about it because
Mm-hmm.
everybody around me watches basketball or football, and it's like I wasn't really into those sports all that much. So it was like, how do I talk to people about the race on Sunday when everybody's talking about football from Sunday? And that just went on for many, many years between, I started getting into more gaming stuff with racing and got into like online forums. And, fast forward to 2020, I was like, I saw people were just making clubhouse groups for various different things. And I was like, I'm gonna just throw my hat in the ring and see what happens if I make a group that's for Black people into motorsports and see what happens. And like I put the request in like January, and like a couple days later it said it was approved. I was like, oh crap, it's approved. Like, where do I go next?
Let's go.
So, uh, it started doing different things. Like we used to do like 2 rooms a week, like motorsports recap on like Tuesday, covering like all different disciplines of motorsport from the weekend. And then we would do like Thursday, like a preview just to get people aware of like all the different things going on that upcoming weekend. And that was in conjunction with also there was a lot of F1 club things going on Clubhouse as well at the same time. But we tried to be a bit different. We did live watch parties for some of the other different racing events. Like we did the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600, which if everybody knows those both happen on the same day. So you're pretty much locked in from like noontime till 10 p.m. We did like watch parties for like 12 hours of Sebring. Uh, we've joked about doing brunch for Le Mans. Because it's like, okay, I'm gonna get my croissant ready for this 9 o'clock start. What is another one we did? What's another race we did. Yeah, we did a lot of different races, and then we got to the point that we were like, hey, let's go to some
Man,
races in person.
take
And
all that orange off,
Oh
man.
my god!
Well, it's good to see
So
my family, man. I ain't seen y'all in a while. How y'all doing,
I
bro?
Hello, fine. How have you been?
I've been
So
out. Right.
I wanted Rohan to go into how we all met, because when I was speaking to Bryson, I was telling everybody that they really don't see us in motorsport, but we are here, and we have organized, we have gone to races, we have done so much. And for, you know, Ben Syliuam to make that remark, it's like he offended a whole lot of people. And that was the reason why I wanted to get all of us together, so they can see all of these faces, all of these Black faces that love motorsport, that love Formula One. So, Rohan, I want to start with you first. What are your thoughts on what he said?
Oh yeah. I mean, you saw what I said in the chat that day. I said, "What is this vanilla sport that he wants to create?" Like,
Right.
I mean, there's the one side of what do you mean by rappers, but the other side, I'm just like, you could have let this slide by saying like we're not like football, we're not like basketball, we're not, try to say you're not like other sports, but like what do you mean by this? What direction you going with this? Because swearing and everything is a part of every sport. It shows the character of all the players involved in the sport. I'm like you're basically censoring that. I mean, yes, you gotta keep it clean for sponsors and who's watching, but like, okay, you cut that part out. Like this whole thing of making an analogy to rappers, like what are you getting at here?
Right. No, I mean, Yuri, like, what are your thoughts on it? I know you're Team Papaya.
Oh yeah,
You're always
man, represent.
but like,
Yeah,
what does that, how, like, you get up, you guys watch all races from all different series, not just Formula One,
Right.
but it seems like there's this same negative connotation when it comes to sports and Black people. I mean, we watched Venus and Serena Williams go through this when they were playing tennis. We watched Jackie Robinson and countless um, Black baseball players that played in the Negro League go through this. What is it like? What are your thoughts on this, Yuri?
You can all chuck it down to the power of white supremacy. It's been something that's been pushed all around this globe, and anything that can, disincentivize, reduce us, make us less than, whatever it is that can bring us down, people are gonna push it. Unfortunately for Ben, I mean, for him to say the rapper thing is weird because he literally said Formula One is about entertainment, and we all know rap is like the number one genre. I don't care what anybody say. It's been the last. Honestly, I think it's been the number one genre for longer than we actually said it was number one. I think around 2016, 17. That's when they claimed it was number one genre in the world. So it's like for him to say that, I'm like, dude, you cutting out all this entertainment. I mean, who gonna come out on stage? I mean, think about some of the stars we've had. We've had LL Cool J for the Miami Grand
Yep.
Prix. They bringing out what's his
Will
name? White boy,
I am
Eminem. Yeah, they bringing out Eminem at the U.S. race. So it's like you've already worked with rappers. Why would you try to shut that door down? So yeah, business wise, it was a terrible thing to say, and then just ethnically, I mean, they always coming against us. So it's nothing new, but it is what it is.
So did you guys see what Willie T put on Twitter?
Uh,
He
I gotta
straight
see that.
called for this man's
He gotta
resignation. Like,
go.
straight up. Willie
Hey,
T,
yeah.
he got
I
to him.
mean, he said some other slick things before. Ben is only what been in the FIA. He's been the president since 21, right? Or no, 22,
20,
right?
I want 22.
Yeah. So
Um,
he only been in the seat for a little while. He talking real greasy.
well, you know how it is.
Yeah.
He knows he's gonna have that seat for like another year. So he's like, hey, I have free reign to do whatever I want. But I don't think that he realizes the ramifications of the things that he says.
Right.
I think that he is more focused on what the notoriety looks like for him,
Right.
and not
Right.
the betterment of the sport. And I know FIA governs many motorsports, but when it comes to Formula One, and that's something that a lot of people in Formula One needs to take in consideration. I feel like the diversity, equity, and inclusion thing, you know, how we all were united in Formula One back in COVID, that fell flat. And with that falling flat, I just feel like it just opens the door for these people to say anything that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is it that Black people, us four on this IG Live, that negative connotations, no matter how you want to put it in society, it all goes back to Black people? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is so ridiculous, especially as much as we contribute. And there's so many Black people that work behind the scenes in motorsport, period, to make it better. Whether you're talking about NASCAR, whether you're talking about Formula One, whether you're talking about the F1 Academy, yes, there are Black people who work in the F1 Academy.
Yep.
We contribute. And it's just a slap in the face. And I feel like Lewis, poor Lewis, he's on that island by himself. Like, why does Lewis always, every time something happens like that in Formula One, they point the camera directly to Lewis? It's just ridiculous.
Well, that's another thing is that how are they going to act when Lewis leaves?
Exactly.
That's the question. That if they're acting like this now, towards the end, when he's trying to, you know, when he wins that next championship and he's out of there, what are they going to do then? I mean, you finna see some spicy Cajun comments coming from him. You know what I'm
It ain't
saying?
gonna be seasoned
It
though.
ain't. Listen, Salt and Pepper gonna work on that.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, for me, looking at it and thinking about it, that's the real kind of question to go, how y'all gonna act when we're not there
Right.
to point, you know, when the camera don't even fall on Lewis? Who else is gonna talk about it? Max ain't gonna talk about it. You know, they gonna point the camera nowhere else. He's just gonna talk about it. That doesn't even make the news. It makes the news when Lewis says something about it. That's it. You know,
Right.
but you know, that's the question that, you know, we need to, you know, and to even continue to watch the sport, because I even questioned, you know, even last week was like, what am I doing when Lewis leaves? Who am I gonna watch? You know, that's a huge thing, and F1 better get it together right now. Because like I said, a lot of us is leaving F1 when Lewis is out. When Lewis goes, listen, good luck. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope
Yep.
Oscar can hold it up. I hope Norris can hold it up. I hope Leclerc can hold it up. But
I don't know.
good luck on
I don't know about
that.
that.
I
I'm gonna
know.
be honest with you, man. Lewis is one of those once in a lifetime type characters
Yes.
in sports because he is brought in not like okay, we all know it's a European based sport, right? Every driver that made it a European based sport.
Mm-hmm.
But Lewis is the only driver to make it where every country in Africa they watch him. Every country out in the Caribbean islands they watch him. You know what I mean? His dad from the Caribbean islands. So it's like the connections are real. The support he gets in Brazil is real. Like this man got way more support than Massa, bro. Let's think about that. Because Massa, we already know he's targeting Lewis, trying to take the championship from him. And you know, I'm like, bro, your own country, your own people are willing to root for Lewis over you.
Right.
This man, Lewis, is powerful, very
Right.
powerful. So yeah, once he steps out, like you said, man, it's gonna be a lot of people gonna leave F1.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be sponsors that leave F1. We gotta remember,
Yep.
Lewis brought in sponsors that, I mean, they might stay in Formula One, but it's not gonna be the same, you know. So Lewis, man, he's a one in a lifetime for sure.
Okay. Am I back? All right. Because
Yeah,
people are
he's loading.
and I'm trying not to lose the connection. I'm like, please don't lose the connection. But no, I feel you. It's 100%. That's 100% Yuri. But I mean, I just feel like Bryson had mentioned in his comments that how much Formula One lags behind all other sports, especially when it comes to being a bit more respectful towards Black people. I mean, the jury's still out with me in football, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But
I agree.
and I really feel like they need to catch up. I mean, it's
Yeah,
supposed to be this sport of engineering, of of moving into the future, but they're still falling flat on making the table a bit more round where everybody can sit there.
Yeah, I don't see them. I mean, it's very hard when, and then on the other side, it's dealing with the Americans also. Is that they don't want us in the sport anyway. So they already know the situation that Lewis. They know what Lewis brings to the table. So they're just looking at it and go, okay, let's just do whatever Lewis says until he leaves. And then, like I said, and what's the outcome after that? You know, what then, like, that is, I'm just very curious on that. Like, we listen, we understand back in 2020, 2021, they had this whole, Lewis was standing up. He was the only one out there, kneeling and all this other stuff. He was the only one out there. But that was because Lewis was doing it. They know what Lewis brings to the sport. But like I said, when he leaves, then what? Then what are we looking like? You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna all this stuff don't make news. They finna chatter up like crazy. They don't finna make this news now. It's gonna be free range to whoever what being want to say. So what up, Wolf?
Take a moment. Yes, and welcome Jay to the show. Hey Jay, how are you?
What's popping? What's popping with y'all?
Thank you so much for great. Thank you so much for joining us today. So we had Bryson on earlier, Rohan joined from BIM. We have Yuri here, the president of McLaren Racing Fan Club.
Oh yeah, hold on. I gotta get them right now. Hold on now.
And we have Jay from Wolfpack. So Jay, I saw your video.
Right.
It was raw, very raw, but that's who you are, and that's the reason why I invited you to the show.
Facts.
So, just really quick, give us your thoughts on what you think and why you think Mohammed bin Syliuam had said what he said.
Ben Slime. That's what I call him, Ben Slime. I was like, what's my brother's name right here with the papaya on?
That's
what's your name, bro?
Yuri.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, bro, tonight, bro, you probably should have left that papaya to the side, bro. That's the same team that hosted Trump, bro. That's the same team that hosted Trump.
Oh man.
Same team where Zach Brown was sitting up there like this, bro. I had to call him out. I had to call him out like, listen, you can't host a man like that talking about you ain't got no choice. They should have turned that shit down. This is the same man that said black jobs, bro. Black jobs. And Zach Brown up there tweeting and taking pictures and shit.
But
you 100. Hey, and guess what? I called him out too, bro. I called out Zach Brown. I called out McLaren. I called out everybody, bro.
You got to. You got to. And I'm gonna say this. Part of the problem, Tanya Group, while we here, you just named off what? 3 people. My man, you were right here. The brother that just got off in Bryson, right? So that's 3 other people besides y'all.
Right.
So that's 5 people altogether. It's more black content creators out here. They should have been signed up for this shit. The first problem is unity. We need to be moving as a collective when this shit popping. When you call me with that, it was already gonna be on go because they need to see that. They need to know, like, the first thing they think about us is, if you know military tactics, I've been in military, you got to know how to fragment your opponent. You got to know how to break them apart, whether it's with propaganda, mentally, physically, through arsenal, through supply line. They already know these motherfuckers spend trillions of dollars every year, but they not united. They not joined up. They don't unify none of the decisions they make, and often they won't even work together. So guess what I'm going to do? First, before I even get started, I'm going to call out all the motherfucking black content creators that didn't come on this damn shit and say your word and support our sister, our brother Amani in this push, because it's important that they see our faces. That's what I'm going to do first. All right? I'm going to commend my other brothers for getting up here and speaking and supporting y'all first, next of all. And third of all, I'm going to get on Ben. This is what I'm going to say about Ben. Ben probably comes from the mindset of this. They've been exploited for hundreds of years. We done stole them. We done imported them. We done raped them. We done damn killed them. We done hung them. It's okay to do all that shit to them. But you know what? Don't ever really try to include them. Let us get a few coins so they feel like we're going to do something, but we really not. Ben didn't need to go any further than his own paddock to find somebody who cussed or did misconduct, period. First of all, you in motorsports. You not above motorsports, bro. You in the ecosystem of motorsports. He was delusional when he said that. Next
Right.
of all, you could have said the narrow circuit. You could have said ISMF. You could have said IndyCar. You could have said anything. Hell, you could have said stock car. We're not going to be running around here fighting in stock car.
Yep.
But you know what? You got Max Verstappen assault Ocon in the garage in Brazil. You know what? You got Max Verstappen making excuses on alcohol to sexually assault women. You know what? You got Max Verstappen using retard and Mongol insulting a group of people. You know what? You got Helmut Marko don't even know where the fuck Perez from talking about South America. But that's okay. You didn't need to go no further than that. But what you did do is you told on yourself. You told us how you view black people. And then you associated two rappers. And then you said, we're not going to act like them. Yo, Ben, I got news for you. It's black Christian rappers that don't drop the F-bomb and say one curse word. It's rappers that don't say a lot. Yeah, they say the F word, but guess what? Your drivers say the F word, so you don't need to talk about rappers. Matter of fact, like I said, exploiting, right? It's cool to try to use one of us to get a gang of us. Wasn't it Drake's voice on Kickstarter F1 at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Am I mistaken? Wasn't it Pusha T with Red Bull doing a fucking cipher? Am I mistaken?
And Will.i.am
And
too. Will.i.am
Was
and
it?
Lil Wayne.
Thank you. Was it not Lil Wayne and Will.i.am doing a Formula One song? So my thing is this: you so caught up that you literally told on yourself. So I guess what, Ben? This is what I'm saying, and I said it like I said on the video. You the type of dude I know behind closed doors when you comfortable with your cigar and your little drink in your hand, you calling me a nigger. That's what you're doing. You calling me a nigger. That's what you're doing. And I can't stand that word, but I know I got to say it to bring the punch that that's what he's doing. This is the same dude that diminished women by saying they really can't even compete. This is the same Formula One, while it was a 17-year-old girl that got her head cut off because those people didn't want her in there and they wanted to sexually assault her. They still took a race there to say shit about her. But it's okay because we can get the dollars. All I'm saying is this, man. Clean around your own front yard. Don't go nowhere else. Respect people. We've been asking to be included. And it's funny that all the time the black community do 10 times the work and get 10 times less to pay, right? But you want us to constantly buy the merch. My bro repping papaya. You want us to constantly buy the tickets. We buy. When we go to Formula One, that shit like $3,000 or more.
Yeah.
And we splitting it to go. But it's okay for you to get our money, but it's not okay for you to include it. There's no way, no how. We should see more black content creators being included into the process and the content creation of Formula One, whether it's on the paddock, doing the paddock walk, because Brundle's ass is tired. I know, listen, I'm going to say this, that dude played, and guess what? Will Buxton, he can do it, but he can't do it like us. You need to have that representation, for real. You need new flavor. Because you got the same old tired-ass bullshit up there with no mix in at all. And listen, Sam Collins, I'm going to tell, bro, I had to check him. Bro, I done seen your little slight remarks about Americans. I done seen your little slight remarks. Hell yeah. Yes. Y'all don't be peeping Sam Collins with his drops talking about, why would you want to do that? I guess if you were American, it's okay. He done dropped his, I done seen you, Sam. I'm real good at finding out a motherfucker who be soft shoeing, who be fanboying. I be seeing y'all. And that's why y'all probably see me. I work with McLaren, right? But guess what? It's odd, and I always say this. I did that work with McLaren, and it was cool. Appreciate it. But don't think for one moment that I didn't pay attention to when and how you brought me into the game. You brought me into the game when you had the Hidden Genius Project, which is about bringing young black men from inner cities into a situation, a STEMS program. So what did you do? Who's the blackest, coolest motherfucker on content creation we can get? You know what that dude, he pretty black. Don't think I didn't peep it. Opportunity is there, but that ain't where it should have stopped. But did it stop there? Yeah, it stopped there because they want to bring us in when they want to, but they don't want to bring us in to be a part of the inclusive content creation. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. Anytime we get in hockey, motherfucker took off. Tiger Woods killed golf. Jackie Robinson killed baseball. Venus Serena, they killed tennis. You goddamn, look at how many black quarterbacks you got in NFL right now. They ain't want to let nobody in. The truth is, when you let us in, Lewis fucked up shit, we gonna fuck up shit too. You just gonna have to roll with it. Period.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're killing me, man.
I just don't feel, I feel that we have to keep pushing. And like you said, we just have to unite and make sure that they that we are united. Because I mean, we already have the sauce.
Always.
We have
We've
done
been
so much,
producing it since the beginning.
so much,
Right.
and they have.
Yeah.
That's why I really wasn't shocked when Ben said what he said. They didn't. There were crickets. Nope. Everybody just kind of overlooked it, sidestepped it. But
Right.
yeah, when women were getting harassed in the paddock, there were chat groups. There were people emailing and DMing.
Yep.
But when something's directly targeted at Black people, they're walking around with their hands in their pockets and their mouth completely closed. And that
Right.
has to stop. It has to stop.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you another thing you can always tell. I was in the paddock club, all right, and in the paddock club you got your tables and your badge has your table with it, right?
Yep.
So when you go into the paddock club, you got an assigned table that's for you when you get served. They bring the champagne, all that. I'm gonna tell you right now. I walked out, left my bag there, came back, 3 white guys sitting at my table, Russian, I might add. So I asked bro, I said, excuse me, this is my seat right here. He's talking about, I don't see your name on it. I said, I looked at my fucking shit. I said, bro, this is my table right here and you in my seat. So he looked at me like, are you serious? I said, yeah, I'm serious. This is not your seat. So his home, so he get up. So I walk over, his homeboy get up like, oh, hold on. We'll move. I was like, I know you gonna move because it's not your table. The point is, a black face in a paddock club, ain't no way you got no seat in here.
Oh my
That's
God,
the mind frame they got.
Yeah.
That's the mind frame they got.
No, that it doesn't even matter if it's in paddock club. I'm gonna tell you about what happened to me in Canada. Okay, so Martha and I, we had 2 tickets, 2 separate grandstands. I walk up to the grandstand, and of course you have to present your ticket before you can even walk up into the grandstand and take your seat. And I did that. I'm sitting there. The guy gets up and he asked me, because he saw that we were crowded and he knew that there was somebody that wasn't supposed to be there. Guess who they came to first, though? Me. This man, I didn't know him from Adam, asked me, let me see your ticket. You know what I said? Let me see your ticket.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
He was like, he said, no, let me see your ticket. I said, no, let me see your ticket.
Right.
When you let me see your ticket, I'm going to let you see my ticket.
Right.
Or else we're not going to be seeing anybody's
Go
tickets.
About your
business. He was like, you would have thought he was going to clutch pearls. Like, oh my gosh, who is this Black woman asking to see my ticket? I said, do you think that I would be up here knowing that the person just looked at my ticket? Well, you know what happened? There was a white girl with her friend.
There we go.
All like me and him started arguing. All of a sudden, she disappeared because she was the one with no ticket, not me.
Right.
So there are so many things. There are so many things that have to be included. And that's, at the end of the day, we love this sport. We're not going anywhere. And they have got to realize that. And like I said, they have to make sure that we have a seat at the table. And I see a lot of organizations that look like us now that are trying to make and facilitate that change. But I feel like it's happening at a glacial pace.
Yeah.
Considering with it being 2025, I don't think that we should still be having these conversations amongst Black people. I still feel some sort of way that there is not one Black girl that races in the F1 Academy. Why? And I am going to keep pushing that narrative. And I know I'm the crazy American girl. I know it. But
you're just right.
Right. I was about to say she's right.
But I'm saying, but it's like you're trying to tell me there is not one Black girl in this whole entire world that can compete in the F1.
And this is my thing.
Where is she?
It's more Black people in this world than any other ethnicity.
Yep.
I don't care where you go across the globe, you're going to see some dark skin.
We're going to be
I don't care what nobody says. In any corner of the world, it's Black people. So you're right, Tanya. No excuse whatsoever.
None. And I will, whatever podcast, interview, whatever, I will still continue to say that. It's like, it's not going to be a worldly sport until everybody in the world is included. Not.
That's facts.
That is facts. But
I know Imani love good old Logan No Sargent representing America, but we need more than Logan Sargent representing over here, man. We need somebody.
But look, but see, that's what I've been saying. Even with Americans, They don't want us racing. They want to have the races here in
Yeah.
America. They want
Right.
us to buy the tickets. They want us to buy the merch and all this other stuff. You think? Listen, Logan Sargent's gone. It's going to be another 30 years, maybe 40 years until we get a American in there.
Right.
It probably be another 200 years we get another black racer in there.
I'm done.
Damn. We gonna be gone.
We're gonna be going.
They gonna be
Stop it.
racing on Mars.
You want a hot take right now?
Yeah.
I don't think we ever see another black racer in Formula One.
True.
Hey, I'm not against that. Because
Right.
You know
on
what I'm
some
saying?
real, if we go down like the lower league category, the only guy who I thought might have a real shot was Hugo.
Hugo.
He races
Yeah.
right now in Formula what was it?
Right, he in the
Formula regionals.
McLaren camp. He in the McLaren camp.
Right. I'm
It's the
thinking he
super
got a good
license
chance.
that's holding it back.
Yeah, but also look at the leagues. Every league he went to, if he didn't finish second in the championship his first year, he won the championship.
Right.
But they hyping up this Kimi Antonelli.
See,
They hype
Right.
up a Piastri Asher. I'm like, bro, look at this kid. I don't care what car
See,
you
but
put him
people,
in, what
right.
league, he
But
dominated.
people got to understand, just
Right.
like women, just like you had Jamie Chadwick. I know she's not a woman coach, but she's still a woman that could have been in there, right? Because they let Logan Sargent ass in. There ain't no way you could have told me that damn Jamie Chadwick couldn't have did that or better. I'm just sorry. I'm not going to believe that. All right, Logan Sargent was absolutely fucking horrible, and he got more than his opportunity than any other rookie we saw. Nick DeVries, get your ass out of here. We seen it. We seen him get out of
That's
here.
real.
So James
That's
Vowles
real.
gave him a chance. So my thing is this: the problem there is people have to understand the money side. There are people out here that see it, that have control about not giving them the money so that they can get those opportunities.
Yeah.
He can be as great as he wants. We can support him as much as we want, but people got to put the money. So then my problem is this: Oprah, LeBron, Jay-Z, Michael Jordan, where the fuck y'all at?
Yeah.
When y'all see these talents, where y'all at putting y'all money together to get this brother and other sisters to this level? Because that's what it takes, sponsorship dollars. Because these Formula One teams are like, what bag are you bringing? You might be half-assed, nothing. But if you bringing that bag, oh yeah, we're going to give you an opportunity. Maybe you only got enough money for a year. That's cool. We know it's teams like that. So I'm asking, where are all these big stars that could be doing this right now in all types of pockets? I'm not even just talking about Formula One here. We can talk about schools, banks, institutes. We can talk about all that. But since we're talking about Formula One, why are they not getting included? We saw what happened with Willie T. Ribbs. Bill Cosby got involved
He
to
did.
bring the money
That's
up.
true. Yeah,
All right.
true.
He got involved to help him out. That's what it's going to take. And the problem is they spend a lot of time fucking off with Johnny Dang, who don't do a damn thing in the community, but don't drop none of that money into these young talents so we can see them go to the next level. And I'm going to tell you right now, Haas ain't no fucking American team. They just got a P.O. box in North Carolina.
Hey, you right.
And
Look, Haas don't make nothing, bro. The LAR, the Italian manufacturer, they make their whole chassis, bro. You
I ain't
right.
seen one Haas
Call it.
commercial outside the USGP. I see Williams commercial all damn season for Dorsdale. Where the hell Haas is?
Yep. Hey, he called on the money right
Love
there.
it. So, hot takes on Singapore GP.
Oh, hot take?
Yeah.
I'd say.
I think I'm gonna go first because I think you were gonna drop a bomb. I think this. I think you were gonna drop one because he really thinking. He looked up. I said, "Oh shit, he about to drop one. Let me get out of his way." This is what I'll say. I think the hot take for my hot take, because Yuri shit probably gonna be blazing, is that we saw two things happen.
Yeah.
We saw Danny Rick came back way too early. Should have got on his Tesla and traveled across America, then come back. But we saw them give Danny Rick driver of the fucking day for being last. Last. That told me two things. One, y'all can be nice when y'all want to. Two, you can manipulate shit when you want to. Because there ain't no way you gonna make me believe Danny Rick was driver of the day and he was last at 19 because two cars got damn retired. He would have been dead ass last if that wasn't the case. So them doing that told us two things. You're nice when you want to, but you manipulate things when you want to. Colin Pinto should have got driver of the day, if anybody. Over Danny Rick.
Out.
Formula One, we be seeing y'all with the bullshit. Go ahead, Yuri. Drop that nuke on them, bro.
It's literally a spinoff of Daniel Ricciardo, man. I was gonna say Red Bull needs to sell the racing team, bro. You can't own two racing teams. Daniel Ricciardo did not have to go for tires and get that fastest lap.
You know who
that
made
literally
that
was
call,
a
right?
strategic call that Red Bull put together, so Lando couldn't have a chance at getting close to the championship with Max.
Right.
So sell the team, man. Get rid of
I
it.
knew it was gonna be a hot one. That's a good one.
Yeah, bro. But I agree, man. I don't know why he got driver of the day. I'm like, bro, I've been ready for Daniel to go for a while now. Like, I mean, when he was at McLaren, I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. He washed. Let him go. He came back. I'm like, for what?
Then he for the money.
Man, he ain't did
money.
nothing at Raging Bulls, bro. He ain't did
Well, Money
nothing.
make a good point, and he did that too many times.
Yep.
When he went to Renault, he said he was going to be committed. He was going to stay there with the program. As soon as he got the bag offer from McLaren, he jumped ship. Yo, you can't keep doing that shit. It's going to bite you in your ass. You trying to jump from platform to platform. You got to readjust as a driver into a new team, a different car, a different driving style, and you didn't keep nothing the same. So that's why when Christian Horner come across with his bullshit talking about Danny broken, he don't learn bad habits. Okay, cool. Well, now you got him. He ain't too far removed from Red Bull, so unbreak him. And the whole time y'all sitting up here boasting up Danny Rick to overcome Yuki, that shit look crazy. So here we go again. Privilege over priority and talent. Just willing to try to give it away. So that's where it comes back to us, right? It comes back to us. So when you see, and Lewis Hamilton, I got to say something to Lewis. Lewis, you great. And Lewis does a lot of things that I wouldn't do. Like sometimes he just chill where I wouldn't be. But Lewis, sometimes you got to just learn to say, you know what? That's his problem. I never seen a Formula One driver turn into a fucking FIA steward in an event where it don't have nothing to do with him. Lewis said it was a racing incident. They say, you know what? That situation with you and Max was a racing incident. They even put it in the document. So it's okay to listen to the black man when you can use him to support the white man. Just like in the press conference, Lewis, do you got any advice for Lando on how to deal with Max? That was a fucking trap, and Lewis is smart enough not to fall into it. But see, they want to try to use Lewis. You know what? Teach Lando how to beat Max. Just like raise our kids while we go out here. You go in the field, come in the house and cook. You take care of our kids. You know what? You going to use little black kids, lay on the floor. We're going to put our feet on you because we think your melanin is powerful. Anytime they can use us to support them, that's what happened. You see what happened with Jack Daniels, right? They end up getting their ass sued, so they had to get that money up because they really knew it. They slave created that. They just stole the patent because we didn't have the rights. Think about it, people. We're not far removed from it being illegal or getting killed for learning how to read a damn right. And for white people who felt that we had equal rights to get punished for teaching us or treating us like human beings. You see some of these same traits in some of these sports, even the NFL. Why the hell all of a sudden you can call Colin Kaepernick back for a coaching job, but you could never call him when you got these bum-ass quarterbacks in here? You got bum-ass quarterbacks. Danny fucking Red is sitting in here fucking, we done seen quarterbacks ain't do shit for years and they got a job, but Colin can't get a job, but now you can call him to, hey, come be a coach. No, that's a slap in the face. What you're saying is, we're going to let you back, but it's going to be on our terms. You never going to have your career back. Never. We took that from you and we're going to keep it from you. But we'll let you come back in the house. Come work in the house. Nah, that's the same type of shit that's going on with Formula One. There's no way Lewis Hamilton, through all these years, should have been the only black Formula One driver. There's no way Willie T. Ribbs shouldn't have made the Formula One grid. But you know what? They said it wasn't about his talent. It was that we just wanted two Italians in the car.
Yep. That's what they said.
That wild, boy.
True shit.
Crazy.
And they don't want to talk about that often. True shit.
Often.
At all.
At all. At all. Not one damn bit.
So do you think once Lewis retires that he's going to push hard to bring another black person into Formula One as a driver?
I would say no, because I feel like Lewis, like a lot of us black folk, we put our all into it. And then when we had the biggest platform to literally make the change, we just keep getting it stripped from us, or they knock us over, push us out the way. I feel like the brother gonna be tired once he retire. Once he retire, he probably gonna be like, you know what? I just want to sit back. Because a lot of us, we get burnt out. We put in all this energy to help propel our people forward. But so many doors are shut right in our face. They'll pull the rug right up under us. So I feel like the brother gonna be tired once he's done. And we know Lewis. He is a very serene, chill, like you said, very serene, chill dude. I feel like once he put the gloves down, that's it.
You know,
he done.
I got a question though. Don't Lewis have a race team, X44?
He
Is
do.
there a
He does.
black
Yeah.
driver on that? Is there a black driver on that team?
No.
No, I don't think
No.
so.
Stop.
I'm just asking.
Yeah,
It's his team, right? That's his team, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh my jeez.
I'm just
Okay.
asking. I mean, I gotta call it real. I mean, that's our brother and shit. But I mean, we just gotta look at, just to have an example. The brother got a team,
Yeah.
X44, and ain't no black driver on there. So you mean to tell me there ain't no black driver in the world you could have got to drive in dirt? Dirt?
It's some options out there.
it's
Yeah,
it's
why
something out
they
there.
ain't in there? So that kind of go with my man Yuri asking. I gotta use real life situations to kind of wonder if they're available.
The director.
And that's a piece of evidence that I would wonder. Well, I would have to say no, because he has the opportunity to do so and he ain't did it.
All right, so in the comments, it says director of the team was a black woman for X44. Yes, Stephanie Travers.
That's great. We talking about drivers.
But is she still the director now? Answer's
Yeah,
no.
that's a good point. Cause dang, when did she step down? Or did she get booted out?
I don't know the
Just blew it
specific.
out.
Right.
Sip some water. Sip some water.
I got mine too.
Y'all horrible.
Hey,
Interesting.
Ain't gonna lie, I'm getting
Interesting.
parts.
Yeah. So
You know, what about his fizz though? Lewis ever had a black fizz though?
Who?
you said who?
Fizz though. He ever had a black fizzo?
No.
No.
No. No.
Okay.
No.
That's cool. So has Lewis, you know, I mean, I'm just saying you got to use things like that to kind of wonder. And I will give Lewis this. It could be the Barack Obama effect. All right. Barack, just hear me out. It's awesome. It's great because now kids can look and say, legitimately, one day I could be president because there was a black president. Although we can argue historically all that, but we know this man black. All right, he black. But I gotta ask y'all, the first term I gotta give it to you, Barack. You gotta kind of tread because you just coming in there, so you trying to open up doors. You don't want to get slammed up too much. But brother, on your second term, you should have turned that motherfucker out. Oh, pardon for you. We gonna write this bill. We gonna get this one signed. But he didn't do it. He went out the door quiet. Did a lot of other things for other shit, but he didn't really do nothing directly for the black community. All right. So the same thing might go, just like Yuri said, he might go out quiet. He's got Commission 44. Great. Love it. I just got to look into it because I've been meaning to look into it and see what are the real fruits that have been bared from that. How many of these kids that went through this program have went on to either college or schools to continue their STEMs? That does matter. Not discrediting him for the start, but we still got to hold him accountable for the end result. Like, where is it really going? Okay. Now, I reached out to Commission 44. I reached out to him several times, like, yo, I'm just trying to get with y'all, get some information, maybe do an interview, try to see what y'all doing. I don't want to know nothing about Lewis. I ain't going to ask you nothing about Lewis. It's strictly about your organization and the work you're doing with these kids. Guess how many times they hit me back?
Zero.
Zero. Zero times.
Huge zero.
Zero. So I'm just saying, you got, sometimes it's cool to do, but I think some of them don't really, it's hard to take that bullet. And Lewis is in a hard situation, and people need to hear me when I say this. It's a hard situation being the only person like you in a world of people that don't look like you, don't think like you, didn't come from where you come. So yeah, I give him grace. But at the same point, brother, if you see me down the street and I'm breached behind a car and I ain't got no ammo and you sitting up the street with 2 clips, if you don't bring your ass down here, if I get out of here, I'm gonna catch you slipping.
Yeah.
You better come down here, bro. I'm telling you, if I get a glimpse and see you walk off like damn Bishop saw Q, it pissed him off. He was gonna get his ass kicked by Watermans. And then he seen Q, thought he had some backup. And then he seen Bishop Q go, yo, that's what I'm saying. I gotta see you pull up, bro. I gotta see you pull up.
Oh my gosh, he took it back to juice. Stop.
Right.
He took it straight back to juice. Oh my goodness. Man, well, I think that with Mission 44, we're going to have to see, because it just started. I mean, it's still in its infancy. I mean, it's only been a couple years since we started that. So we have to see what the longitudinal studies are going to be for those children and what's going to happen. But I will say this. I will say that America is not too far behind what Mission 44 is doing. And I feel like the type of community that we want to build, and it's evident on this IG live. We are all thinkers of different proportions, but we can still get together for a common goal, such as why we're on this live today. And I think that that's a testament to what we've always been as Black people, that they choose to overlook and see. They don't think that we can organize. They don't think that we can get together for a common goal, because what they see is on TV is us constantly being incarcerated and killing each other. That's not the narrative anymore. Not. And then even when you sit up here and you talk about Black women, you know, we are on the forefront of being, numbers wise, the most people, the most demographic to start businesses, to be entrepreneurs, highly educated, So
that is.
So times like this, as much as they want to push us down, we're always going to rise to the top. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for answering the call, answering the text message, replying on the fly. Like, look, we're going to do this. And we have to keep moving this narrative forward. We have to remain and stay united no matter what. And Jay, you know I'm only a phone call away. You already know I'm a text message away. Because this is what we have to be, because we have to show them something different. And I'm glad that we are showing them something different.
Facts. And I'm gonna commend you as a woman, Tanya, because y'all go through a lot more criticism than we do as Black men in the space. Because for some odd ass reason, they want to tell you that when you watch the same race I watch, that you don't have the right to give your perspective on it. And I'm also going to give you and women, and Black women especially, credit for leading the way as an increased number in management positions, directors, business owners. And you know why that is? Because some of y'all punk ass men ain't stepping up. That's the problem. Some of you punk ass men ain't stepping up. I can say it because I'm a some of y'all ain't stepping up. Some of y'all sitting back, you playing too many goddamn video games, your woman out here working it up, and you ain't doing shit. You need to get off your ass. They need to be defended. They need to be protected, but don't think that they weak. If you watch a lion's pride, a lion sits there, but the lion don't do the hunting. The lioness go out and do that work. But when shit get crazy, the lions stand up. It's not enough lions standing up for these women, and now these women are in a position like, fuck it, I got to do this shit, because they always have done it. In the absence of help, women have always stood strong and tall. And it's time for us to stand tall and strong and be like, hey, I ain't letting that shit slide. If y'all disrespect her and I see you on the live stream, I'm on your ass. If I'm in person or I'm at a Formula One race and you talk crazy to her, I'm on your ass. Point blank.
That's what I mean. I'll say this, and I tell, shout out to Erica. Love what you collect. I tell her all the time. She's always said that she can't express how, especially in the hobby, because she's with the hobby with me and the cards and everything. And people come at her, right? Crazy talk. And I'm on there and I keep telling her, who is it? Drop names. I'll take care of it. Listen, if there's anybody watching this right now and you have anything bad to say about Erica, listen, I got the money. I fly anywhere in the world. Okay? I fly anywhere, and Erica knows that. And I will protect her to the day that I die. Okay? Because and I keep trying to encourage her. This is just an example. Is that she's trying to get out the hobby because she doesn't feel like she's wanted in the hobby. And that's the same thing, is that any Black woman out here is you find something, but they're showing you so much hate that you feel that you're not wanted into something. Nah. I put my cape on to anything like that. Okay? And like I said before, I got the money to travel anywhere in this world. Okay? And I will go above and beyond for anybody that feels like they're not wanted. Okay? That's the same thing with Tanya also. And she knows that. Anybody got a problem with any Black woman that say that you don't feel wanted into something, that doesn't fly with me.
That ain't the math.
That's not the math at all.
Real.
It's not math at all. So, like I said, with the protection and everything. Yeah, there's brothers out here that's not doing their jobs. A lot of them ain't doing their job. But like I said, the ones that are, we got to go way above and beyond to do that.
And you guys do. And thank you, because you guys have supported me, supported Martha, Erica from the very beginning. I mean, the Apex Takeover podcast wouldn't have been what it was, still is, if it wasn't for you at all. And speaking of the Apex Takeover podcast, the co-host of the Apex Takeover podcast, Martha, is wanting to join. So I am going to have to say goodbye to one of you lovely men.
Hey, I got to work on the baby card. I bow out.
Thank
I
you.
say I've been on the longest.
Hey, hey, peace and love to all y'all. You know, I wish you the best. We'll be talking again. Yuri, I hope to talk to you again, brother. You seem stand up. So, you know, just make sure you keep checking them.
Hey, I will, man. I just
All
followed you too, bro.
You
I
got to
just
get
followed
Yuri
you. We'll
on your
tap in.
show. Get Yuri on your show. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, facts. Yuri,
Yeah.
we'll do something, bro. Message me up, though, bro. Message me up, though.
All
For
right.
real. Let's link
All right.
up.
okay.
All right, that's the bet.
Hey,
I'm
Wolf,
out.
you a legend, man. You a legend. All right.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
We all got to get together real soon.
For sure.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we have Lakai and we have onemarita. So
Katron,
Martha, are you ready? Lakai, are you ready? All right.
I'm in there.
Who's up first? Okay, so we have Martha. She's coming on now. Okay.
They gonna kick me out this hotel room if I keep being loud.
Hey, friends.
Okay.
Hi.
Go.
Co-host.
That's good.
Hello, hi. Hi, Imani. Hi, hi. How are you?
Good. Always.
Okay. Nice to see everybody. Hello, Yuri.
What's up?
How-
What's up?
How's it going? How's Dallas? How's Texas?
Dallas is Dallas. It's hot. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Hel-
Hot
Yeah.
and bad traffic.
Right.
Oh, hello, lovely lady. How
Hey,
are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm telling you, this has been an absolute banger.
You see my airport mess, my
You're
airport
beautiful.
arrival mess. Yeah. I literally just came in.
Wait, hold
Yeah.
on. What you drinking right there?
What
What's on the
is that
side?
left-handed?
I was
Is
trying
that
to see
left?
what the sign
Uh-oh.
say. Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
And
Start it out.
podcast forever.
Yeah.
Okay, forever.
So I know you guys were on for a while, so I'm not sure what um everybody's talked about so far. I might not have anything to add to this
Girl,
conversation
Yes, you
because
do. Yes,
You
you do.
stepping in as an
I
ad. We
know.
talking about black
Yeah.
women.
100.
You are one of
Yeah.
them.
oh,
Yeah.
we're talking about Black
Oh man.
women.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Well,
importance of black women.
Mm.
they burned it up. They
Yeah.
burnt clean up. Yuri, Jay, and Imani just burnt it up about black women. Okay. I don't think anybody's gonna be messing with us anytime soon.
Mm.
Better not.
Y'all good.
I got
Y'all
12.
good.
Well,
I got 12 for them.
and you know what? It's not even like it just started today. I know ever since I joined Clubhouse, I felt the love. I felt the, just that there's people out there that see us and appreciate us. So I appreciate y'all because
So,
it's really one of those things that I think, I know when Tanya messaged me to talk about this whole thing with Formula One, I was like, I'm realizing something about us as people is that we're in such a hypersensitive era. Like we're hypersensitive about everything. We're hypersensitive about politics. We're hypersensitive about every single thing. So it's a scenario where I know I'm now in a place where I can only speak for myself with regards to certain issues, even with like, I have friends that are non-black. Um, do I think that even if I say to them, hey, this is what happens to me, this is how I feel, and expect them to really understand and really feel it, I don't think they can. I don't think, you know what, I'm not saying it's good or it's bad. I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like, I don't really think I know what to do with that information, knowing that the world is full of people that have their own mindsets, their own feelings, their own issues they're dealing with. And sometimes it's like, and I think for me, that's what's the difficulty with Formula One is that I think I wrote it off simply because I was like, I just honestly think that everything they do that's with DEI is performative. I I will say it again. I think they're just performative. They're not actually really intentional about making us feel welcome, making us feel like, and I've spent tons of money on Formula One, tons, to a point where it's almost disappointing that I thought they've actually got layers and things that they're doing to make me feel welcome. I'm not even talking like, and again, I'm really trying to speak on myself because I'm like, oh, people feel differently about going to a Formula One race or about what they're doing with DEI. But for me, I'm just like, I feel they don't have my back. They don't care about my dollars. They don't care about how I feel or how I get treated, or they just don't care. They just don't. So I don't know if I still love the sport as much as I used to. I know I love some of the drivers, but the sport itself, I'm so like Tanya, you know this. This is not a secret. I've told you. I'm just like, I've had it. I've just had it. No matter what we try, no matter what we say, hey, let us try to help you understand how we feel or how this comes across to us. I sound like Max Verstappen right now when I say they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
You're right though.
So Martha, what been said? Like, how do you feel about it?
Well, and again, speaking on myself, I do feel that there's definitely some racial stereotypical stuff there that's the standard of. I know people say stereotypes are not true. That's a lie. They are. Stereotypes are true, and he fed into the stereotype. So, you know what? Any other person on the street could fit into a stereotype, but you are a top head at F1 and you are singing about, DI DI. But again, let's not forget he's the person that said people can't wear shirts about pride, about supporting women. Let's look at wear Black Lives Matter shirts. It's just like, oh yeah, you're this celebrity that has so much influence across the galaxy, not even the world, the gal. I'm sure if someone was in Mars, they would know Formula One drivers, but they're not allowed to speak on anything. So, I feel like it's like that whole 2-year-old syndrome of if you let me get away with this, I will. And I think he's been let to get away with so many things. That way now he just opens his mouth without thinking. Because I think if he had really thought about what the connotation he othered, I don't even like to other. I don't even like to say, oh, those girls are like this and we are like this. I don't that just we're human beings. Like we've been through COVID, y'all. Come on. Like
Right.
the othering of people. What did freaking Snoop Dogg do to you? What, like, he's so sweet. He just wants to smoke his weed.
Yeah.
Like, leave him
Yeah.
alone. You know what I mean? Like, he's not bothering anybody. There's so many rappers, and like I watched Wolfpack's like YouTube where he said, listen to my music and tell me how many times I say the F word or the N word or whatever it is that you're saying, rappers. Right? There's so many rappers that don't speak like that, but you literally threw them all. You just took them all and put them. It's like the good cop, bad cop thing. We all say bad cops, all cops are bad. And that's the thing. We live in a hypersensitive environment that you can't just, there's things that you just can't, in the place that you're in, Ben Salayem, you can't just say shit like that. You can't afford to. So I think that I'm not the only person that's literally written off Formula One to an extent. I mean, I like some drivers and some teams, but Formula One is a governing body, like
Yeah.
FIA.
I
I'm good.
agree.
I'm I'm deuces. Yeah. I
Man.
mean,
So
Yeah.
speaking of this, Yuri,
Yep.
Lakai has been waiting to come
Oh.
on, and he is
Oh.
the last guest.
Yeah.
oh,
So
Yuri,
much for joining
bye.
us, and
Yes.
Amani, we got to do this again because this is
Oh,
getting
Vanna's watching. Hello, Vana. I don't know if you watch Formula One, but stay on, hang on, stay in.
All right.
So Yuri, thank you so much for joining us
Yep.
and your insight. And get on Wolfpack show, okay?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
love to see that.
All right. Because we
What did I
Uh,
talking.
miss? Sounds like you guys were on. What did I
I,
miss?
I just signed
Watch
up
it.
for an interview, I guess.
Good.
Okay, okay, I will. I will.
So bye,
All
Yuri.
right,
Talk
y'all.
to you soon.
Bro,
See
stay
you.
strong.
Yes, sir. You're a legend.
Spec is like, so I'm not a guest. Spec is.
Oh my gosh. No, but Lakai has been patiently waiting. He's been wanting to get on for a minute. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get Lakai. There he is. What's up, friend?
Hey, what's going
Last but not least, final
Hey,
day.
on?
Lakai.
Hey, Martha.
Let's
How are
go.
I
you?
am I'm great. Super
How's
great.
Flora? How's Florida?
Sucks. Sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
It's warm at least, no?
It's warm, but expensive though.
Everywhere's expensive now. Every freaking where is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of Florida you in?
I'm in Tampa.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's growing, but like the problem with Florida is like they're building a lot of houses, but like there's no businesses being built here. And why would you? Because the weather and buildings sinking, like it's just not a place for like 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. It's a retirement state.
Yep.
Hip replacement, snowbirds. Yep.
Yeah,
Down.
we'll see y'all down here.
Oh, you better stop.
I'm
Or maybe
No.
not.
ready.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
maybe
ready
not.
though.
you're
I'm ready
not.
though, Lakai. You might, you know
Not.
what? You might,
Come on.
I
See,
might.
he always does this. He gets in. He gets somewhere. He steps in poop. Don't step in poop. Don't, don't do it on the live.
He talking to those people born in 1900s. That's what he talking
Ah,
to.
So
That's what he.
so we
they definitely are in the 1900s.
have Lakai and we have Martha
Yeah.
on the show. And Lakai, what are your insights on what Ben said about rappers and comparing the drivers to rappers in Formula One? I really wanted to get your opinion on this because you are of the younger generation
Yeah.
and the generation that's going to keep motorsport moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I wanted you to give your opinion today because you are the future.
I think it's very unfortunate because they're trying to grow the fan base here in America, and music just globally is a huge part of any society. In fact, I was gonna go to I think Abu Dhabi because I want to see Kendrick Lamar, which is one of my favorite artists, and he actually performed in I think 2022. Um, so I'm like, well, if you're seeing this and you're using some of our entertainers, then what does that say about where F1 and the sport is going? And I think we're just as passionate as any other people that are fans of this sport. And it's like, all right, you're saying this, and it's just very disrespectful, honestly, very disrespectful to us. And I feel like it's like, oh, y'all, like Martha said, like you're just getting our dollars. Like I don't even know if he values our dollars anymore. But also there's like a second part to that, I think, and we're starting to get involved on the other side. And when I say other side, as producers, like you're doing content creation. He's doing content creation on motorsports. I was involved. Well, I'm still involved in the industry, but I'm getting involved in a different way. So I think for us, we have to come systematically in order to have like a voice and put more pressure on him and some of these big heads that's making all these decisions.
To include.
But it's still a scenario where I think, someone like him, it's like, well, I'm gonna get really political here, but I remember the first time that Trump ran for president. I think Tanya, I talk to you about a lot of things. There was a time when me and you were talking about how when you become a person of power, you're in a position of power or you're going into a position of power, they need to give you a team that will literally filter the stuff that comes out of your mouth. Like because you think it and you literally want to spew it out, but sometimes you shouldn't. You needed to have it kind of filtered in a way that, because, you know, with me and you as regular people, I know that I might have 10 friends, and of those 10 friends, maybe two of us might have the same thoughts, but the rest of us will have totally different feelings or thoughts about, just like what Lakai said about, you know, 1900s people in Florida. I feel like I would love to go to Florida and live in retirement, but some of you might like, that's not my thing. But it's just, I think with the type of sport that Formula One is, if we're not talking NASCAR, we're not talking Indy and, the American, like, motorsport, Formula One is beyond where they can have somebody in a position of power like he does speak the way he speaks on some of the things that really make us human beings, like, women and race. Like, these are big subjects. You can't just run your mouth. You can't afford to. I think like maybe an engineer in a garage could, but chances are they'll get fired. But you are literally
Mm-hmm.
top governing body of it, and how am I supposed to feel knowing that that's how you think when it's like, by the minute? What do you really say behind closed doors? Like, and the thing that's really kind of vexing me is the fact that we have friends in this community that are not like us. We have friends in the community that are not Black people. And sad thing is, I know that majority of those people are sitting here and going, why are they making a big deal of this?
Right.
He didn't
Mm-hmm.
say that. He didn't say this. They're nitpicking at words.
Mm-hmm.
They're grasping. I know for a fact that that's what's going on. I've had a couple conversations with a couple people, and it's like, yeah, I didn't understand it that way. No, you didn't. You're not me. You don't go through the things that I go
Yep.
through.
Not at
You
all.
don't. You know what I mean? It's like, and then with me and you, Tanya, going through DEI stuff for the years that we've trying to do it and trying to do it. And what did I say to you? I said, for us to be successful as Black women in this industry, we need to be sponsored by Black people. I'll say it again. I mean, you've heard me. This is not a secret.
No,
Sometimes
no,
you
said
just
that.
don't understand how I feel. It could be words, it could be actions, it could be body language, it could be energy. No one understands me as much as the people, you guys understand me.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's honestly, I'm not hating on anybody, but that's the fair, honest truth. But that being said, the word allyship now plays a big deal. Like, do you really know how to be an ally? And if you don't, are you the person who's going to come and say, hey, I hear what's going on, I understand what's going on, I really don't understand how it makes you feel, how can I support you, how can I be there for you? Right? It's like, that's where the disconnect is. The disconnect is not in what's going on is going on, we can't control that, but what we can control is how we react, right?
Right.
So if you how I react, how you react, how my ally friend reacts, that's literally where everything is, I think.
Yeah, we touched on that earlier because that was where what struck a chord for me was when he did make that comment. Where was the allyship? Because there
Mm-hmm.
were so many, there are so many people that we know that navigate this space that when, and this is like the third time that I said this, when there were things going on in the track, when women were getting harassed, like there were group chats created, there were, people were like, oh my gosh, this can't happen. They were advocating for that, as they should. But when things are directed towards Black people, when it comes to Formula One,
Oh, we get the crumb.
it's
Everybody get fed except for
yeah,
us.
Yep.
like they're like, oh yeah, well no, he said it, but why are y'all trying to make a big deal? Well, why are you making a big deal when women are being harassed at the track and people are getting their hats snatched off and set on fire? That's the reason why we're making a big
Mm-hmm.
deal. Because yeah, we matter too. We're in this space too. We spend money here too. We create content here too. We love this sport too. And until
Yeah.
they understand that and until they get that, Formula One's always going to be behind. The most technically advanced sport in the
Yep.
world, you're still lagging behind.
And not only that, but the media part. Like, they got all eyes on them. Others
Mm-hmm.
have as much eyes on them, and they're way advanced in terms of like their media production. So it's
Yeah,
like, why would you say something stupid like this, knowing that the world has seen the 2021 championship go down, right?
Mm-hmm.
right.
So it's like, why are you coming back to this? Like, come on. And like, for me, I'm a truck driver. I see everybody. I see women. I see black women. I see black people. So it's like, why are we making such a big deal about the color of skin when
Still,
it's the steering wheel? Because the steering wheel don't see that. They don't see gender or gender. The pedals don't see gender.
Right.
So it's like, why are we tripping about race still in the 21st century? And other sports is more diverse, it seems. You know what I mean? Like, motorsports should be that, but it's like, we're
Mm-hmm.
still not including black people and women too.
So the other thing that I thought about was, you know, if you're thinking motorsport and we're thinking how Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport and how much money there is in Formula One. If you're talking about, okay, drivers stop cussing. You know what? It's an emotional sport. They're driving at, 300 kilometers an hour. In a split second, someone could be gone from the world. So sometimes I get it. I'm saying, oh yeah, go and cuss the heck out of everything. I actually understand it because I've been through situations where it just comes out, right? But I know that obviously, I think Max is one of those that just blurts it out a lot more.
Yeah.
If the case is you're the top pinnacle of motorsport, there could be so many other ways that you could actually remedy this, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I have a child. If I decide that Formula One is not suitable for my child to watch and listen to the expletives, I'm gonna tell my son, hey, listen, this is a channel that you're not gonna watch. When I watch this, go play with your friends or arrange whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We can parent our own children. We can parent our children, right?
right.
Those of you that don't want to, you know what? I, I will speak for myself. I'll parent my child. But also, there's so many different streams. There's Sky Sports, there's Formula One TV, and if we're paying that much money, you could literally just phase some of that out. Same thing with
Mm-hmm.
like rap music. When rap music, some of this, when it's come on radio, you don't hear those things, but are they there? Yeah, absolutely. Has he not said the word F-U-C-K at some point in his life? He has. He can sit here and not deny. He cannot deny that he has. So it's not that of a it wasn't a big deal for us to hear it on a race because sometimes I expect it. But I think the big deal is the words that he used to kind of say, hey, say it, figure out some way of figuring out, okay, this is the penalty or whatever. But to now bring rappers into it, you're bringing like a whole group of people, a whole race of people that had nothing to do with anything.
Mm-hmm.
You literally started shit when there was no shit, and now we're doing a live about it.
It
I,
was just unnecessary. Like, he shouldn't have said that. Like,
it
I
was,
agree
yeah.
with you, Martha. Like, I get the F bomb. That's cool, but don't add
Yeah.
the rapper part. Just say this part and leave that out. Even if you think it. And I agree. I think you said it, Martha. Like, somebody on his team should have been telling him, like, dude, I know you think this, because they probably do have conversations, but don't say it. Especially if we're going in this direction, trying to get this new audience into our sport.
Mm-hmm.
That part. That part. And I think that's where the whole accountability comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And also too the intention and purpose. You know, what's going to happen is Lewis Hamilton's going to lead this sport.
Yeah.
And are you okay with making these inflammatory remarks because that's what you really want? You really want Lewis Hamilton and all of these other people, these black people and people of color, like, yeah, we could do it. We could do it without them. Okay.
Good,
We'll see how that
good
works
luck.
out for you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you are just alienating a whole
Mm-hmm.
people. And not to mention, it's like you talk about rappers. It's like rappers have made some very significant contributions to this
Wu
world,
Yep.
and
Tang.
that's something.
Oh,
Yeah,
and okay, he might not be a black rapper, but he's still a rapper.
yeah,
Who is headlining freaking Coda this weekend? Okay, like when Coda goes on. Who? It's a rapper. It's
Yeah.
Eminem. It's
yeah.
a
Oh,
Yeah, Eminem's gonna be
rapper.
there. Yeah.
yes.
Eminem's gonna be
Literally.
the rapper.
Eminem.
So
You have LL Cool J introducing drivers at Miami. Martha, when we were in Miami, there were a whole bunch of rappers there.
Oh God.
I know. I know. And like I said, Abu Dhabi does a good job, and that's why I went three times to Abu Dhabi. They have rappers. I saw J. Cole in Abu Dhabi. I believe
Mm.
Kendrick was supposed to be there, but didn't show up, and they kind of had somebody else. We had so many rappers. They have three people. Like the three different nights, they have three different people, and
Mm.
majority of those people are rappers. And he's from Dubai. So I'm just like, dude,
I
this
mean, I'm
is
just wondering if he's a big fan of music, because even like rock and roll, they have f
Oh
bombs in there.
oh my God, it's crazy.
Like, come on, dude. So I'm wondering why like he's even educated on rap, because hip hop is global.
Yep.
Like it's been global for a couple of decades now. So it's like, dude, do you even like study this?
Great years of hip hop, okay?
I
Yeah,
think he is. I think he is educated, guys. I actually do think he's educated, but I think that he got caught in the heat of the moment and really showed us who he really is.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it is.
That
He's
part,
just
Mark.
showing us who he really
That
is.
He's been singing that for a while. It's just coming out now.
oh,
Yeah.
That's
And
all it is.
the clout.
and that's why I'm saying to you, and I hope that they do see this, is that their DEI honestly is performative. Some of these other some other content creators might call me out on this and say no, there's actually nah, I'm sorry, this just proved that it's performative for him to think and feel and loosely relaxed, not even
Yep.
like he was on pressure. He was just being asked a question and that's how he chose to answer it, and that's exactly how he feels. Now I know how he feels. So you know do I want to keep on throwing my money at? So listen, I am going to a race here and there. I'm not going for Formula One. I'm going for particular teams and particular drivers.
Lewis.
But wow, that's a no-brainer. And a couple others, but and I also, is it okay? I'm also asking a question here. Is it just Lewis and Max who were asked about this comment, or did other drivers? I just don't like the fact that when it comes to things about race
You
and things
know,
like this, it's like
they
not
go
the
ghost.
other drivers are not, you know what I mean? Like,
so
Mm-hmm.
They go
I,
ghost in the heat of the moment. They go
well,
ghost.
no. Actually, Oscar Piastri
My
did make it.
God.
He did.
Yes.
So, I mean, he was asked in a press conference, but if you watch the end of the race when when Max, Lando, and Oscar were in the cool down room,
Oh yeah.
they were
Yeah.
playing the playback of the race.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
Oscar looked at Lando and says, "Hey, can you describe to me exactly what was going on in that moment without swearing?" And it was like a cheap shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Go ahead, Oscar." But they all know that it's a bunch of baloney. They do. But what Lewis sees, because he's the only black driver on the grid, that there's so much more to that inflammatory comment.
Mm-hmm.
So much more. And it resonates more with him because he's black.
Yep.
And I think that is, Rohan said Ricardo commented on it.
okay.
That, I mean, it's like, when are we going to move this sport forward for everybody? Okay.
We're dancing in circles. We're
Yep.
dancing in circles of
Exactly.
performative DEI. Literally, like, listen, we started this. When was this, Tanya,
Almost,
when we started trying to do this?
almost, can you believe
Like,
it's been 5 years?
Oh.
we're
Years.
We started
dancing.
Yeah.
all
Five
met
years.
2020
2020.
during COVID,
Wow.
almost 2025,
Wow.
everyone.
It's a maze. It's a maze of DEI.
A half
There's
a decade.
like we will fight for the women's rights in DEI, then
Wait,
we
hold on.
won't, and then
Lakai, were you even old enough to be on Clubhouse? Like,
I was trucking then for sure. I was I was like, dang, like I was trucking, and then I went to Africa, and then I came back and went into motorsports,
Okay.
and now it's a different journey. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I had to say something,
Yeah.
But
I
Yeah.
mean,
So
and I like to highlight something, Tanya. I don't know if you remember, but when you came to Indy this year, that conversation we had with our friends there, um, should I say his name? I'm gonna say
yeah,
Uncle
yeah.
Willie, right? We had a conversation with Uncle Willie. Willie,
Oh,
I don't know who that is. Um, and he was talking about Miles, how they were slow walking him. But
mm-hmm.
they've been slow walking forever. Like it's an old tactic. They did that with some of our leaders back in the early 1900s, Black Panther Party, just slow walking us into the industry until they are comfortable with us being in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I bring up, like, we have to get more involved to put more pressure, and at every level too. Because when I'm at the racetrack, or even like the kart track, and Wolfpack can probably vouch for this, I don't see us there. But also,
Yep.
like, the industry in general doesn't do a good job of like exposing us to it. You know, they like even like with the SCCA, if y'all know what that is, Sports Car Club of America. Me and Asha, we were talking about, like, all right, we're gonna try to go into these school systems, like the high schools, the middle school, to get just a different crowd. Because like even in Florida, Florida has the biggest region of volunteer workers for corner marshals, timing and scoring, registration, etc.
Hmm.
But nothing but retired people, and they all white. I always
Right.
seen like
Yeah.
one black person, and he was retired too. This man was like 60, 70 years old, and I'm like the unicorn in there. I'm super young to them. I'm super young. I'm like 29, right? But I'm the only black person there. So it's an industry problem, and the problem is education and exposure. You know, I don't know if they're willing to go that deep, or if we even have visionaries that think beyond that. Like, because I want the sport to grow, y'all want the sport to grow, and we love it just as much as they do. So I don't understand why they're not like seeing that yet.
I think that that's something too that we have to start for ourselves. And I think that that's a reason why individuals like me and Asha have started, even Jay from Wolfpack has started younger and going into schools and just showing them what motorsport is and exposing them to that. And but we need help.
Yep.
We do. We can't
Facts.
do it all. So I think that as the years come, I think that that will become definitely a more, I'll be more focused in that area versus creating content. I mean, I know I've spoken to each and every one of you about it. There have been people asking me questions like, what's going on with the podcast? How come you're not creating content? Is because that's where my heart is, making sure that the younger generation, that they actually have exposure to it, but then also an avenue. Because you could have all the exposure in the world, but if you don't have an avenue, and then you don't have
Mm-hmm.
people that are willing to at least give you a chance to be in this space, then like Martha said, we're going around in circles.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and I'm tired. I I
Let's
I'm
go.
tired.
Let's
Okay.
go. Okay.
I'm tired.
It's been
I'm
very painstakingly hard to do this,
I,
but it's like we can't give up, but we also, like Jay said, we have to unite. We do.
Mm-hmm.
Black people from all over the world, whether you're in the United States, UK, wherever, it's like we have no other choice, because we can't sit around and wait for other people to do the things that we need to do for our own community. It has to come from
Right.
us. And that's the reason why I reached out to each and every one of you, because we may be similar in skin tone, but we are very different in our ideas and the way that we think. And that's what I really like about us, and that's really what I wanted to highlight, how important it is. I mean, you guys, they're looking at the screen like, obviously there's a whole bunch of Black people. No, you really need to listen to what we're saying, because we have some really great ideas, some insight on how we want our community to be better connected to motorsport, and we want to be involved. We definitely.
I'll share this too, because when I first got into the industry, like there was a bunch of positions, job positions that I didn't know exist that I knew people outside the industry do on a regular basis. So even if you think you don't have an avenue, there is an avenue for you. Motorsports uses everything. And even, I don't know if y'all paid attention to the Catherine Legg thing, but she brought a different sponsorship for women. I think it was something about skincare.
Mm-hmm.
But even like the sponsorship game is what I'm talking about. The sponsorship game is changing to where you're starting to get a diverse set of sponsorship. It's no longer just fast food restaurants or car parts. Now it's getting into skincare, healthcare. I mean,
Healthcare.
even with yeah, the dental stuff, that's a big thing because you do need medical personnel there. And even like I know y'all went to Daytona. I mean, I can just think of an idea just with both of y'all, like with you, Martha, you do personal training. They need that. Everybody needs that. Corner marshals, drivers, pit crew members, whoever. We need people like you in there. So even if you think that what you do doesn't translate into the industry, it does. So I like to put that out there. That way people can really like go to the racetrack and get involved in different ways, outside of STEM. Like we love STEM. Don't get it twisted. But
Exactly.
like you got to think about it because I always wonder like, man, how do these series put on event after event for year in and year out, decade in, decade out? I'm like, how does this stuff work? There's more parts to making an event happen, let alone a championship. So coming with that mindset too, like figuring out, all right, what's all the mechanics to make this even exist and survive? Like we have to come with that mindset too.
Well, I think that us going away from Formula One, because me and Tanya, when we started, it was mostly Formula One. I mean, it was motorsport, but it was mostly Formula One. And I think really stepping away from Formula One and going into, like, for example, the American races has been really eye-opening because, yes, there's just such a welcoming atmosphere in all these other motorsports. Like, you're able to talk to people and actually like get somewhere. Because the thing with Formula One was just that whole thing of there's a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of, which
Right.
for me, I felt like we're beating a dead horse over and over and over. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. Because the energy, you run out of energy if you beat down a dead horse too many times. So breaking into the different motorsports has been, like I said, eye-opening. And yeah, you know what? I mean, I love what I do. I love changing people's bodies because I know that a lot of people don't really have hope that their bodies can change. So um, right now I'm playing tag. I am going to one race with Tanya this year. After that race, I'll re-energize myself because I'm telling you, I have the Formula One TV app. I paid for it. I have not watched a single race.
You did
Ooh.
watch one. I
Which
Oh
called
no,
you.
yeah,
which
that's right.
one?
Yeah,
Called you.
Something reason.
Which one did I watch?
You
But
watched Lewis at
yeah. You watched
Silverstone.
Silverstone. I
Remember?
remember
did
that
I
one.
watch Silverstone?
Yeah. I called
Okay, all right, okay.
you.
One race, one race out of all of them I have not watched. I literally have not watched except that one. I actually even forgot that I watched that race.
Yeah.
But that's how much I'm just like to an extent didn't give a shit anymore. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Y'all
Checked
can.
out.
Ugh, yeah, I was just like, life is still there going on. It needs to be lived. There's places to see, there's people to see, there's Rexy to go see
I
at
Yes.
Daytona,
saw Rexy.
Sexy
Congrats.
Congrats.
Rexy. Yes, yes, yes.
Congrats.
So I would go and watch Rexy anytime, but Formula One, I kind of said, you know what, let me just, and then Tony's like, Martha, it's so cool this year, it's so cool. And I see the highlights and it's back. So I will go to one race this year, and next year we'll be back to business. I will check back
Let's
in.
go.
Right now I'm tagging out, but next year you will literally be like, Martha, I've had enough. Stop it. Be quiet.
Because he's going. He's going to
Let's
Ferrari.
let's go.
So Any closing thoughts from Lakai and Martha?
I miss Vettel.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Because
yes.
one of
Yes.
the that I wonder too. I didn't watch like all the post race press, but I'm just curious about the camaraderie of the drivers and the teams, which I don't I'm not sure if it's there or not. Yeah, I just remember when Lewis was protesting for, I think it was the Mike Brown,
Mm-hmm.
2020. I
Mhm.
remember Vettel being a huge supporter and
Mm-hmm.
too. So I just kind of curious about just that whole paddock, if they're even like tight knit like that, in support of like what Lewis is trying to highlight, you know.
I see why they may not be. I don't think they are, in terms of like vocally. Maybe behind closed doors they are, but I see obviously with contracts and different principles and different rules with each team, like, hey, this is what we get involved in. We don't do politics, we don't do this, we don't do this. So I can see why only a few spoke out. The humanity side of them was like, F everything else. I'm gonna say what I need to say because this is big. But Vettel, yeah, you're right. I actually love that you brought that up because he was somebody who stood for what he believed in. He was
Mm-hmm.
somebody who was a human being first, then a driver. So I miss that because I know for a fact that he would have spoken up
Oh
and
yeah.
and said something to this.
Oh,
Um, like for me, like my closings is that I just think this statement has done nothing really surprising for me other than really show me who Ben is as a person. I now know. So you know how he gets excited when Sweet Toto every time we see Toto? Oh my God, oh my God. Him, I could see, and I'll literally walk across the street.
dang. Okay. Don't spit on the sidewalk though.
Jeez, wow.
Like, like because I'm a woman and I'm a black woman on top of
Mm-hmm.
that. So
That
I know that none of this matters. None of it. Like I've got two X's, two strikes,
mm-hmm.
right? Y'all maybe have one. I have two. We have two, Tanya. Two strikes in
I,
his eyes.
I got
So
more.
Two.
Bernie Ecclestone. I'm still mad that our uncle called him uncle. I felt Because I felt like he could have gave him 5 races. Because back then they were going in America a lot. Like they were going to Detroit, and it's black people there. Like they were going to South Africa. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you couldn't at least just give them those 2 races, just those. And then what he's been saying to Lewis. So I think it's just the head of the FIA and I guess F1. Like
Mm-hmm.
I see how they really think you know. But it's not surprising. I'm like with Martha, it's not surprising. Y'all been doing this forever.
it's
But
chess pieces. Just moving some
Yep.
chess pieces. Okay, this chess piece looks really good there. Leave that there for now. Okay, let's take it away now. Let's put this chess piece here. You know, that's literally what it is.
I think for any other brand out there, like the Indy cars or whoever, this is your chance to take that lead,
Yeah.
because it's competition at the end of the day. Like you trying
Ah,
to rock you. So if you're trying to pop, like, oh, you looking at what he's doing and saying it's like, oh, okay, bet you're not going to include these new people in the sport. We will.
Mm-hmm.
Will not only accept them as consumers, but as producers and creators in this sport. And when we get popping and your stuff pops down, that's your fault because you didn't make a wise business decision and you didn't get over your ego
Yep.
to see the better good of the sport. So I think for any other industry, any other brand out there, this is your chance to include it and work with us, work with us to push the sport forward.
I love it. I
Let's
love.
go.
Oh, thank you, you guys. This has just really warmed my heart. And Martha, I know it's been a while since you have been on social media talking anything about Formula One. So I
I know.
simply want to thank you for giving your time today, coming on to the show.
You're a legend.
A living legend. Martha, co-host co-creator, co-founder
All
of the.
Ooh.
right.
Look, I don't get to say it enough. I don't, not anymore. And we're gonna change that shit next year. I'm just telling you. If I
Okay,
if I
Comeback
got.
season.
force your hand, we are gonna change that next year.
Well, there is such a thing, Amani. There are such a thing as comeback
Yes,
seasons. But
Yes,
yes, it is.
yes.
let's see how Vegas rolls. Oh, was I supposed to
Oh,
say to tell that that's where we're
Yes.
going?
You
Let's
can
see.
Okay.
do it.
Let's see how Vegas plays out. If they can win me back in, it's up to them. Honestly, it's up to them.
I ain't gonna
And
lie.
uh,
This has been the
I'm
most.
gonna I'm gonna spend my money. I will spend my money and freaking go to freaking Vegas. Oh, am I not supposed to say freaking? Is that okay? I'm gonna spend my money and go to freaking Vegas.
uh-oh.
If they can win me back, then 2025 season, you'll won't you'll get a lot of Martha. A lot, a lot, a lot.
let's go.
Let's
I
go.
So it's
I
not
just
up
want to.
to y'all though. It's not you guys wowing me because I know some of you are gonna be there. You guys wow me already. It's
Yeah.
not you, it's them. I want to see how this racing stuff is gonna go. If the staff there are as nice as the Miami people, I think we're in business.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah, remember Miami? How
Okay.
see.
awesome they were?
They
They
were. They were.
were
Oh my
nice
gosh.
people.
They
The
were
food.
bad.
No,
They were nice.
It
Oh,
was
they
it
were.
good.
was
Okay.
amazing. The people were amazing,
The
and
traffic was bad.
well,
Yeah,
the
traffic
first
was
time
shit.
Yeah.
we were
Don't move to Florida for that reason.
Mm.
The traffic,
yeah,
please.
traffic's horrible there, but no, and we do miss Jason, the late and great Jason Jenkins.
Oh,
He did
Mm.
yeah.
experience very memorable. But Lakai, thank you for your contributions to motorsport, your continued contributions to motorsport,
Yes,
bringing
sir.
Yep. I
to
hope to see y'all on that side too. And whatever you.
you too, and we hope that you continue to excel and do great.
It was so nice seeing him because okay, well, I'm putting you out.
What's up?
Your truck is ginormous. Your truck looks
Oh,
like a freaking transformer. His truck is so big. And then you see him in it. I'm like, you drive this thing?
yeah,
This is like three
so
houses
small.
stacked together. And he's this like you're not small, but against your truck, you're like so tiny. I'm like, oh my God, how does he do it? I feel like when you turn it, I feel like you turn like with your whole body.
Uh, yeah, yeah. It's a job for sure. Yeah.
It's a big truck. It's ginormous. Like
Oh,
I don't think they have an idea of how huge your truck is. It's like honestly, it's three houses stacked together.
that's
Oh yeah,
wild.
because you went inside, right?
Yeah, it's ginormous. It's like it's Optimus Prime is not even the size. I think
It's a.
maybe Optimus Prime. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, geez.
So it's pretty
Oh my God.
cool. It's
I
really
mean,
cool.
Well,
one more
keep
thing I'd like to add too.
and um Martha, can you please tell everybody where to find you? And then after Martha, Lakai, if you could tell
Mhm.
everybody where to find you on social media.
Right here. Right here. Just
And
Instagram.
also
Just
her
on the gram. There's only one Marita. That's it.
Hey,
On the
hey,
gram.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
have to
Yeah.
follow her because there's only one Lakai.
That's true. That is actually true. Yes.
oh my goodness. Well, you two, thank you so much for rounding out our panel of Black content creators.
Mhm.
I know that Bryce is like, I'm not a content creator. You know what I mean.
Well,
Yeah, he knows.
thank you for having us. I missed this. I actually didn't realize how much I
Yeah, thank you for
it's very
inviting me
cool.
and having me. This was very cool.
Mhm.
I kind of like this. Like, I'm kind of like Busta Rhymes. I don't know if y'all saw
Oh,
that post.
put
Wait,
in with the rapper. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do the are you gonna do
Nah, nah,
the
he said I pioneered the feature. So I like being a feature on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Good. And we are so glad to have you. Have you both.
And, and it's amazing what y'all do too, because it's very hard to do content creation. So keep doing what y'all doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And you're consistent too, every freaking Monday.
yes.
We
Every
only
Monday.
we only missed one
Just
race,
one race.
right, honey? Just one race. But
One out of all of them. I've watched one race. See, so it's even. I watched the race. You
And
you
we
did,
missed one race.
and I watched one race. So you're good there.
20.
We're
Oh
even.
gosh, I love you, fam. I love you, Martha.
I love you too. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll do
no,
this again soon.
yes, of course. And thank
Yes.
you so much, Lakai, Martha, for joining us today. Me and Amani are going to go ahead and wrap up the show.
Okay.
Um, and see y'all in the chat. That's what I keep saying.
Yep.
Like, see y'all in the chat in the BIN.
So does Ben Syliuam what's his name? Whatever. Anyway, does he have to say a lot of other shit for us to like come together like this?
No,
'Cause
No.
I can send an email. I can send an email.
I'm gonna
no.
send one too.
Okay,
Right?
next thing.
I'm
Starting
gonna
the
CC you on it.
email campaigns up next. I'm telling you, Formula One, they have no idea. They have absolutely no
Nope.
idea what they have started. He said, Ben Salami. I'm done. All right.
I
Bye,
can't even see the
Martha.
chats. Okay,
All
bye.
Bye.
right then.
Oh my.
All right. Yeah, I'll do this.
Oh
I'm
my
a dinosaur in this joint. Sorry.
God. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
I think it's just, yeah.
There you go.
Yo, so
That was awesome. That was
huge shout
awesome.
to all of the Black Formula One content
Mhm.
creators that showed up today. Let's start with Bryson, Twitter Arrow King, and let's go to the creator of Black Interest in Motorsport, Rohan, to Yuri, the president of the McLaren fan club. All right.
Yeah.
And then we rounded out with the co-founder of the Apex Takeover podcast, Martha, and then also Lakai, who is heavily involved in motorsports. He actually works in motorsport. You all, I don't know what those people in Formula One are thinking, that we don't exist, but we do. And this is a message for Ben. We're coming. Okay. We're
Get
not
ready.
up. We're not going to stay silent. We're not going to be quiet. And for anybody else, I really think that you should jump on this allyship with us because we're not anywhere at all. So, Amani, cheers to another podcast episode. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody in the world, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining Monday Vibes F1 podcast.
Legendary show. Legendary show. This goes in the books right here.
Yep. And I also want to tell everyone that we will be on next Monday. We know that the drivers in Formula One has a few weeks off because they're heading to Dakota. But Amani and I did not do a debrief on Singapore because we really wanted to talk to our brothers and sisters about what was going on in Formula One, and we really wanted to address it. Lastly, before I get off the live, I really want to say a huge shout out to Mr. Willie T. Ribbs. He is a champion for motorsport. He has been for Formula One. He has done so much work in the background that none of you can even imagine nor will see. And I just had the opportunity to thank him for standing up for us Black people, for standing up for us content creators, and also standing up for the right thing. And what that man said was completely out of line. It wasn't called for. And I'm glad that we do have somebody like Willie T. Ribbs to hold him accountable, as well as Lewis Hamilton as well. Right. So bye everybody. We'll see you next Monday.
Yes.
Bye. I'll see you in a couple weeks, right?
Oh yeah. We'll be in Washington D.C.
Yes, we will be in Washington D.C. for the
F1 arcade.
Yes. So if you are in the D.C. area, DMV,
come on out.
us up. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on out.
All right.
It's gonna be fun.
Bye, everybody.
See ya. We out.